till the ground shake. Big C's, Big C's. I'm the only one that don't break. Every city, every corner know the name. I don't play the part, I am the game. Big C's.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the BigCeaz Show. I am your host, BigCeaz, and alongside my co-host, JP John. What's going on, brother? How are you?
How we doing, BigCeaz? I'm doing good myself.
Doing great, man.
Weekend.
Doing great. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in here on our show. It is Monday, June 1st. I can't believe we're already halfway through the year, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's
not
definitely been weird, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But both in a
there's
good
been-
way and a bad way.
there's been two parts of the year, and there's the hockey season that was dragging. You know, the last 3.5 months of it were pretty brutal, and then all of a sudden we're looking at life after the season. It's like I can go outside.
Right?
This is pretty cool. I don't need to look at the TV at 7:30 every night.
Oh man, it's crazy because our hockey season hasn't been that great, but it hasn't been that bad either. Team USA won gold for the Winter Olympics. We ended up having a good time watching that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it does seem like yesterday. Shouts out to Jeremy rocking those channel. He's actually going on a cruise this week with our good friend Sean and Cameron. They're actually going tomorrow, Sean and Cameron. Jeremy's leaving a couple days later, but it's crazy how they're both going kind of like in the same area in Europe. So
You a cruise guy?
I've never been on a cruise.
No?
No, never. But I plan
You gotta
to
pack a lot of
next
bungee cords, right?
year. I've always wondered how my chair would be on the cruise, right?
Right.
Dude,
yeah.
do I stand like right in the middle? I definitely can't stand towards going back and forth because I could only imagine my chair going, and then it goes the other way.
You just kill the ping pong circuit. The boat sways and you're just like throwing the paddle each way.
We might have to strap my ass down, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, man. No, but yeah, it's been a crazy year. Hockey, the Stanley Cup finals are already set. The NBA finals are already set. I'm excited for the NBA finals. We'll talk a little bit about that here
Oh yeah.
later on. We got two teams that haven't been there. Well, one of them hasn't been there since 1973. Am I correct? The
Knicks were 99, I believe.
Was it 99?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Time isn't that weird.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. And oh yes, thank you, Jeremy. We're only 3 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. So appreciate that. Hit the thumb likes. Share with your friends and family if you guys like the BigCeaz Show. We got a special guest today.
Oh,
Another
yes.
Jeremy, not Jeremy from the Rock and Roll channel. Jeremy Tache works with the Miami Marlins, the Miami Heat, the John Lebitard Show, and I believe he has his own podcast.
Dan
right?
Lebitard.
Dan Lebitard, right?
John Lebitard is what you said. Dan
Yes.
Lebitard show. Yeah.
Okay.
He's on the Pitch Clock, which is part of the show, and he it's a half baseball interview, half nostalgia trivia. Always a fun listen. Him and Chris Cody and Ethan. Yeah, he's got a lot of jobs. Got a lot of jobs. I have no idea how he balances it.
He does a lot of great work on and off the court and off the field. He's good friends with David Dwork and all those guys over there on the Dan Lebitard Show. So really excited to have him on and talk a little bit about Miami Heat, Miami Marlins. And we're going to talk a little bit more too later on too in the show on the new MLB bargaining agreement that is going on here with the players and the owners. This is the last year of their agreement, and the owners proposed a new deal. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But before we get into all the goody fun with the NHL and the NBA, let's start off with football. Crazy day, hasn't it been, JP?
The Giants are making the moves they should have made 5 years ago.
Unbelievable. Now, the Giants re-signed Odell Beckham. He hasn't been in the league in the last 2 years, I believe, or a year and a half. So he's only 33 years old, too, which is not that old. I know he's had a torn ACL and hasn't really been the same since that injury.
Yeah, he had the injury that took him out of the Super Bowl. The Rams won. He was injured in 2017 as well. He got a big 5-year deal in 2018. But that's our guy. That's the first round pick for the Giants, and it's a different building than what he was drafted in for sure. Thinking about him back in that jersey is pretty cool. Don't know if he's going to make the team. We don't know that.
Exactly. So,
but he's going to be a voice in the room, and I think that's important. With you have a couple Mavericks in the quarterback and running back position. Those guys are nuts. So I think it's gonna be nice to have a level-headed guy like OBJ in the wide receiver room to kind of get the offense focused.
Exactly, and especially with Malik Neighbors, he was at a baseball game this past week, and he didn't look too good running off the first base. Now, Barrett, he's still quite a whiles away from that post-injury from when it happened. I believe it happened when they played the Cowboys in October. So I think it was like November-ish, right? Towards like the middle of the season, I think, when Odell or when Malik Neighbors injured his knee.
It was week 4 against the Chargers.
Okay, so yeah, and it was pretty early on. But yeah, it didn't look like he was ready yet to come off.
He looked stiff.
And I think literally after that baseball game happened, you guys end up signing 3 guys. Not only Odell Beckham, but we got Juju Smith-Schuster.
Not a coincidence.
And Barriers. So
Braxton Berrios. Oh,
Braxton.
Like
Berrios.
I said, this team would have been.
Could you imagine if they would
absolutely killer in 2021?
Just okay. We got our Cats and Rats podcast guys here. It says that's like Lane being relevant in the NHL still, but Lane, maybe even further off. Okay, I can see that.
We need OBJ was part of the boat crew, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yep, that was how long ago was that? At least that was 9 years ago. 9 years ago.
Bring back T.O. if that's the case, or Des.
Stupid boat picture. Oh my god.
I think Terrell Owens is in such good shape that I wouldn't be surprised if he could actually be in an NFL team. But I don't think the speed would be there. If he would have like a chance to like be an end zone kind of guy, maybe.
Cowboys should pick up Ocho Cinco.
And Chad Ocho Cinco. Could you imagine him?
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you this. So there's a bunch, obviously, a lot of players haven't played for the Cowboys. But looking back, what player that kind of became kind of a nomad would be the most believable as a Cowboy? Like, who would fit into the Cowboys if they were, star on one team and then
come back to the Cowboys?
And as a mercenary.
Talking about former players or
no, like a mercenary?
Does it have to be a player playing now or a former player too?
It'd be former player. Like, my comp is like OBJ on the Rams that picked him up. That was such a weird thing, but he fits so well.
Yeah, I could see that. Randy Moss, after the Dallas Cowboys not being able to pick him up during that draft, and I think like the Cowboys scouts had him high on their board, but they decided to go the other way around and Randy Moss was like, okay, you're not going to draft me? Fine, I'm just going to show you and the rest of the world. And every time he played the Cowboys, he killed us. Every time.
So, yeah.
So
you can imagine the help that he would have been to. It was Romo at the time.
Yeah. Romo. I think he would have been a little bit better than T.O., although Kirby on the chat might disagree with me on that. He's a big T.O. guy. He loved T.O. And for what he did for the Cowboys at that time, he was really good. I hate the fact that we had a Wade Phillips as our head coach.
Yep.
Because I feel like that was the best year when we played you guys and we lost. That drop ball by Patrick Creighton to get a first down. Oh, like everybody blames Romo, but dude, Romo played really good in that game. He just didn't have the help.
Yeah, you had pretty much one star at each side of the ball at any given time, and it was like Romo was really good at managing the clock, managing the game, and I think he was probably a star away from getting to the conference finals.
That's one thing I'm going to say that was different about Romo and Eli. I feel like Romo had the worst luck between the two.
Well, yeah.
Eli. I mean, look at that play against who was it? Was it against the Patriots when Tyree jumps up and caught the ball?
Oh, of course it was. I can remember that. It's 2007.
I mean, that's the same year. That's what I'm saying. Eli Manning had all the luck on his hand.
That wasn't luck.
Year. That was luck.
Scrambling.
Oh,
he was scrambling.
Out of here, JP.
Pull the video up.
I mean, you're lucky we can't show the video on here because we'll get tagged.
Yep.
But come on,
he avoided tackles.
I give him credit for avoiding the sack. I give him credit for that. He just threw it up in the air. You think he knew his freaking receiver was going to catch that?
I think he had belief in his teammates that one of them was going to go up and jump higher than Rodney Harrison.
Get out of here. I don't believe in that. No way.
Okay. Well, then it happened again 4 years later, and we're still wondering.
That's what I'm saying. He had the luck. Okay.
Not luck.
If Patrick Crane catches that slant route, it was literally right in his hands. That would have been a first down. Cowboys drive down the ball, and they run the clock out.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
That's what I'm saying. You guys had the most luck.
And we did. We did.
And let's take a look at that defensive line. Michael Strahan was a menace in that playoffs.
Yeah. And then we didn't have him the second time, and we still won.
But you guys still had a pretty good defense. T.O. was unbelievable in San Francisco, too, with Jeff Garcia. I believe so. Yep. CFL legend. I got to give
shout with the CFL
flowers. Yes. And legitimately there was in New England. Yeah, he was really good as last year in New England, too. Gave Tom Brady new life, right?
Was so happy to end that career of his.
Crazy. But let's kind of move into like why we were here. Myles Garrett, the big trade today that happened. Today is the post June 1st kind of like window where players aren't guaranteed that money for the year. So this is where teams can kind of like where they have their players, that don't necessarily have to be on the team for a long time or aren't guaranteed that money, can go off to a new team. Here's the biggest trade of the day. The Browns receive Jared Verse, who's one heck of a defensive end outside linebacker. Not only they get Verse, they get a first-round pick, second pick, and a third pick for Myles Garrett.
Verse was just starting to get roots in LA.
But this goes to show like how aggressive their owner is, being able to not give a crap about their draft picks and say, you know what? We have a window to go and win a Super Bowl. We were a defensive play away last year from advancing. And
they have the MVP.
They have the MVP.
Who is aging rapidly.
Why not go get a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball and let's run it back? And if I'm not mistaken, JP, the Super Bowl is going to be at SoFi Stadium this year.
It is. So we could be looking at Rams, Chargers.
Yeah, last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl, it was at SoFi again. The year that they traded for who? Stafford. That was the
Stafford.
year they traded for him. The same year, man. So their GM is making moves. Could we say that their GM is overpassing the Eagles GM here, Howie Roseman?
Um, see, I don't think they'd be that aggressive if they didn't think that the window was shrinking. I think Sean McVay could be looking at, TV deals. There's a lot of money in being a broadcaster right now, especially with what Tom Brady's making.
But he's still young. I don't feel like.
Well,
he's
I mean,
there.
Gruden.
Yeah, but Gruden, that's a whole different situation because of the whole email thing.
No. That's after. I'm talking about getting into broadcasting. Like he was on Monday Night Football for a long time, and he only did it with one Super Bowl, and that's what Sean McVay is doing right now.
But that's because he couldn't find a job. He was out there. He.
But you
got
command
fired.
more money. You command more money if you want to go into broadcasting. And I think a young guy like him could change how people look at, coaching and broadcasting. Like Bill Cowher was stuck there. I'm sure teams were calling him every year, but he didn't go back. Right. Somebody like Sean McVay, who, if he wants to step away from just this team in particular, he can go into broadcasting for a couple years, 1 year even, get right back into coaching.
I could see that happening.
And he doesn't offend anybody that way.
But I believe his wife was telling him, like, is this how you want your legacy to be lived by? Or is this like your passion? Do you really want to go away from your passion? So that's why I think he ended up staying. He ended up, seeing what he really is passionate about. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Brady, not at all.
Tom Brady's what's he making, like 300 something million over there? And
he's making, it's like a 10
Plus,
years, 30,
I want to
30.
give a quick shout out to Greg Olson for winning an Emmy.
Yep.
Man, I am so happy for that guy because Tom Brady literally took his spot.
He took her jabs.
And he's like, and I felt bad for him because I thought he was a really good commentator. He knew the game.
He was easily my favorite the color guy.
He's actually my favorite right now, color guy. I started liking Romo in the beginning, but Romo's gone completely off.
I don't know, Jim.
You definitely do a great impersonation of him. But in the beginning, the first 2 years Romo was in there, he was great. I'm like, dude, he's calling plays out. He's guessing the plays. He's letting the dude. And now he's gone far left to doing that. And I don't know.
Careful phrasing.
I don't know if this is like the producer.
Tony Romo's a socialist.
Let's not get too political here, JP. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Greg Olson is still being him, and he's doing such a great job of just analyzing the game, calling the game, telling us like, look for this, look for that. And I get a pleasure to see him all the time because obviously the Fox does a lot of Cowboy games, and Greg Olson's the guy that does the Cowboy games as well. And man, he's one of my favorite analysts right now, or broadcasters watching and listening to him.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him and Kevin Burkhardt together. I know Brady has his allure. It was obviously going to take Brady some time to even get to a level where he's listenable, because the first year with Brady, he was doing a lot of inside baseball or inside football, but he was doing the funny stuff of good shout, Jeremy. He was I think it was last year he was showing you like how to throw the ball in windy conditions. Like if you're throwing against the wind, Tom Brady was saying like, you don't throw it up. You want to stay on the straight and narrow. Thank you.
That was a really good impersonation of Romo. I'm kind of beginning to question.
It's very limited. It's very limited.
Are you really a Romo fan, JP?
Me?
Let's kind of like peel back the onions.
Yeah, he didn't do anything to me.
But
same way that I'm okay with the Patriots. They never did anything to me.
You would agree that Romo, I know we're kind of getting off topic, but Romo was a good quarterback just never had the luck that a lot of these other quarterbacks.
He provided me with a lot of laughs. How can you hate that? I would demonstrate for you, but my place kicker dropped the ball.
Okay, because was that you trying to kick something?
That was me kicking, but I couldn't kick anything because my place kicker dropped the ball.
Oh my gosh! Don't remind us all.
Happily,
yeah,
I will.
so
All right.
but yeah, so going back to the Myles Garrett trade, I know we're getting off topic here, but that's the whole point of the show. Myles Garrett gets traded to the LA Rams. Do you think they have to be Super Bowl favorites now, right?
Yep. Like I said, I think this is more desperation on the GM's part than any desperation of any player or coach on the team. I think he sees now's the perfect time, and Myles Garrett didn't need to write a newspaper ad or article for us. He got his dream. He got his big contract from his team, and it's sliding on over to a winning team. So I think it was Rich Eisen today said the Rams are not messing around. So they are not.
And let's take a look at their defense here. Kind of like new look defense for the Los Angeles Rams. Myles Garrett, Kobe Turner, Trent McDuffie. I forgot Trent McDuffie just got traded there. Jeez. Byron Young and Jalen Watson.
The Chiefs are pretty much they just gave them their defense.
Yeah.
It's like,
dude, could you imagine? Well, here's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
And I know I've been seeing it all over, and you can kind of see on the bottom of my screen. Could you see Aaron Donald coming out of retirement? Play with this team?
After the preseason, probably.
Right?
That would be insane.
It'd be interesting what his contract would be. Would he still be under contract with them, and how that would be with their salary cap? Because I know Myles Garrett's going to take a lot of that money that they had there.
So I have something from an hour ago. Jalen Watson has already tweeted at Aaron Donald, "Hit me up, big bro."
Woo!
So he's 35 years old. He played 10 years, Pro Bowl every year.
One more year, right? One more.
He's still in shape. He's still in shape.
If you were Aaron Donald, not going through OTAs, here, you have time between now and training camp, or at least till the beginning of the season, to like get into football shape. Would you do it?
Well, he's stayed in shape, so I don't even think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but I'm talking about football shape, like conditioning and being out on the field.
So the thing with Aaron Donald is that he always said that he wanted to do the Barry Sanders thing. He wanted to do 8 years and get out, or 10 years and get out. So he said that he was going to do 8 years. He won a Super Bowl. They tried to run it back, didn't work. And I think there's enough voices in that room that are going to try to talk to him and try to get him in. He's not going to command the money that he did before, but
no,
man, that would be such a fun defense to watch.
Could they be the best defense in the league?
I think they already are with this trade.
Oh, so you think they are now without him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot! Here, let me share this because this is just coming out. Look at this, Aaron Donald working out, just as you said. Man. And for those of you that are listening on Spotify and
we are watching a workout video of Aaron Donald. He's doing pull-ups, he's doing push-ups, he's
he looks pretty good.
He's doing all the gym things.
Now he does have his workout clothes, so you can't really see like how. But dude, he's
wearing all gray. Gosh. Is that blood on his shorts?
No. It does look like
he's very sweaty, so he's obviously working hard.
I'm sure all the ladies appreciate you describing that.
And me.
Anyways.
All right, NBA.
Mm,
No,
we were still talking about Aaron Donald. I could definitely see it. Kat, we want to get your input. Do you guys see Aaron Donald coming back? And do you guys see the favorites going to the LA Rams?
and
I'm kind of curious.
this would be less surprising if Myles Garrett didn't take out the newspaper ad last year saying that he wanted to be traded to a winning team.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So I think is a perfect storm of the right team with the right amount of picks and the right amount of we got to win right now. So
yeah, and it'll be interesting to see because Seattle is the Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
Their coach came out today and said they asked him about what do you think of Myles Garrett coming to the LA Rams now competing for that division and winning the Super Bowl, and he literally is like, I don't care what they do, and typical answer that you would want that the opposing division rivalry coach would say.
Yep.
Not surprising there. So Seattle, they just won the Super Bowl. They don't have to really answer that, right? They lost a lot of defensive players, so I think they're not going to be as competitive as they were last year. But they still won the Super Bowl, so I wouldn't count them out either. Going into the next topic here, because we're still into the trade. Not only was Aaron Donald traded, but I think we all knew that A.J. Brown was leaving the Philadelphia Eagles. It has finally happened with the trade, June 1st trade deadline, or not trade deadline, but June 1st salary issues. Rossini was talked about.
That's why I put my head down.
I mean, we all knew this. I think the whole world
we already knew this, and it was only amplified by the Page 6 article. Like we knew this was coming. So congratulations, Patriots. You got AJ Brown.
AJ Brown's reuniting with their coach, former coach Mike Vrabel. Man, it's gonna be.
It's so romantic. You know what? It's so romantic that they're reuniting.
So
maybe they can go on a vacation together.
I got a question here. Is Rossini going to go to the airport and pick him up?
Actually, I have some intel on this. AJ Brown was not picked up by anybody. He was renting a car from Hertz.
Okay.
So I do have that information.
Okay. So yeah,
for the purposes of your joke, she was probably the secondary driver.
Okay. So the Eagles are trading Pro Bowl A.J. Brown, wide receiver A.J. Brown, to the Patriots for a 2028 first-round pick, 2027 fifth-round pick. This is the better of New England does for the first two fifths. The deal has been speculated for weeks now. I think it should be months. Or maybe
because Rossini's husband is an Eagles fan.
Browns and Patriots and head coach Mike Vrabel are now reuniting. That'll be interesting, and I'm kind of feel like this is good for you and I, JP, because I don't think the Eagles, the way they struggled last year on offense, by all means, I don't think they've gotten better this offseason, right?
They were, every time I watched them, they were such a frustrating team to watch because it seemed like nobody on the offense was having a good time. And that started with AJ Brown. He was the first vocal one.
Yeah.
And then in the offseason, after the offensive coordinator got fired, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. Well, he had to get fired. They were the worst offense in the league.
Too much talent for that.
Too much talent. They weren't getting AJ Brown involved, and just a lot of stuff between him and the head coach, Jalen Hurts, and we all seen it coming. And I know we were all joking about Rossini and stuff like that, but in all seriousness, like that marriage seems to have finally just been completely done, and it's good for AJ Brown. He gets a new scenery. We know the Stephon Diggs over there project did not work at all. He had one good game. the whole season. We're like, man, if this Stephon Diggs could show up for like the whole year, the Patriots are going to be so good. And then he just didn't.
Yeah, it was a fit in or fit out situation with Diggs, and he didn't fit in. But
shouts out to Kirby here. There will be 2 to 3 NFL teams wide open. Super Bowl last year is like the Stanley Cup this year, kind of meh. Yeah,
y'all know why. Y'all know why.
Exactly. Well, that's talking from a Florida Panther standpoint, but I kind of agree with Kirby there. Last year's Super Bowl was kind of both teams. I kind of wanted the Denver Broncos, and it's so unfortunate that their quarterback got hurt the game before that, because I feel like that would have been a better matchup in the Super Bowl, right?
Bo Nix would have been stellar. I think that
2 good defenses, right?
Him and Sean Payton, it would have been of
I
the
think
ilk of one of
Denver
those
was a
closer
top 3.
ones.
Denver was a top 3 defense, right? If I'm not mistaken, through the year. So they would have been right there with the Seattle Seahawks. So I would have much rather seen Denver in it, just because I don't think Sam Darnold would have been like as good as he looked in the Super Bowl. Granted, it was Walker who did win the MVP.
Yeah, and I think that's because there's a whole bunch of field goals.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think they're going to give the MVP to the kicker.
That lulled me to sleep. I couldn't believe, like,
and I think that's why
that was one of those years where it's like the halftime show was definitely better than the game. I remember that. That's usually how I grade the Super Bowl.
It's interesting that you say that, because which was a lot of people said that this Super Bowl was pretty boring this past year. Was that year more boring than the one with the Patriots and the Rams, where literally no team scored a touchdown till like the end? Because I remember watching that game, and I had a couple friends over, and we were just talking the whole time. And I don't really remember a play in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Edelman caught the only touchdown pass, and he was the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of course. I remember that one because Tony Romo called it.
That was his first Super Bowl call, too.
Yep.
It's like, welcome to the Super Bowl, Romo. You finally made it.
Very, very bad halftime show. I believe that was Maroon 5.
I like Maroon 5, but I didn't enjoy that.
I like their first album, but they decided not to do that anymore, so they're dead to me. But yeah, they had Maroon 5, Travis Scott, when Travis Scott was kind of getting big, and then Big Boy came out because they were in Atlanta, and I think that's when they tried to get the Outkast reunion, and it didn't work out, so they just had Big Boy.
Oh yeah, I remember. That's right.
Yeah, I think Andre wanted to play full songs, and they didn't end up. It's like, dude, it's a Super Bowl. You can't play a 5-minute song.
Oh.
Anyways.
No, but that was such a boring Super Bowl. There's barely anything I remember from that Super Bowl. At least in this Super Bowl, I remember some things. I remember Walker just running all over that Patriots defense. And I remember what the quarterback for Patriots just was awful. Yeah. Awful. Stephon Diggs was nowhere to... Drake May, yeah. Drake May was awful. Stephon Diggs was nowhere to be found. Yeah, it was not a good game. Definitely not fun to watch for sure. It was over by halftime. So,
but we got Benito.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. But the Giants made a couple moves today. So the Eagles, I feel like they're not going to be as good. I know they drafted a young wide receiver there, and but he's only 5'10". You go from AJ Brown, who's what, like 6'3",
to
a 5'10" receiver. Yeah, so you got Devontae Smith on the other side, who's not that big either. He's like, what, 6'1", 6'4"? So, I mean, I don't know, Eagles. I don't mind. JP doesn't mind.
You know what I'm looking forward to?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the Giants' acquisition of Christian McCaffrey in the year 2032.
just after his prime.
Bring him home.
You know, I could see that happening.
That's what today was for the Giants.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It's like, mm, I think they're just bringing in bodies for camp because they just
Just,
don't have any of the
just taking
receivers
swings.
taking swings right now.
All right.
Kind of like the Marlins are. We'll see if they actually hit this time though. Anyways,
Yeah.
JP, wow, we got the NBA Finals, baby. We got two teams that haven't been there. We were kind of afraid to see Oklahoma City again.
Did not want that.
I don't think any of us did. It's kind of good to see that we have two new teams, the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs.
Jalen Brunson, noted wrestling fan, has appeared in WWE quite a bit. Love his personality. He's always game to play whatever character he needs to play in the scope of the game. And then Wemby's an alien.
Oh my
and
god!
I'm not sure how the league is going to continue if he is going to be the star. Because what the next move is to get a guy that just reaches up and puts it in the basket.
The next guy I feel like can be that kind of guy if he actually turns out to be the talent that he is. There's a sensational phenomenon that played for the I believe the Florida Gators. He's like almost 6'8".
Yes.
I forgot his name. You got to help me out here, JP.
Yeah,
I don't know if he transferred. I heard he transferred.
Olivier Roux.
Yeah. Is it Olivier Roux?
Yeah, he's 7'5". He just transferred out of Florida.
He just transferred, which I thought that guy was an alien. Just looking at him, but he doesn't have the same skill set as Wembanyama. It's crazy because when he got drafted, that was the year that I got out of the hospital, and during my time,
he's French Canadian. He's French Canadian.
He is. Oh,
we're being corrected here.
Kirby said he's in a Canadian Tire commercial. Okay. Kirby, I'm kind of curious to see what you think about him. Have you seen any of his highlights? Kirby here is a basketball coach. He's coaching youth basketball right now, youth 11. So shouts out to him. He kind of knows more basketball than I do, but like I was saying, Wembanyama was drafted the year that I was in the hospital when I was in the cardiac arrest. And I remember like after I was like coherent and actually, be able to understand what's going on and stuff, they would like talk about on the ESPN, like, oh, he's a top pick. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. The Spurs have to draft him. He's and I'm just watching his film on there and watching them talk about him. I was like, man, this guy could be really good. He reminds me a lot of Kevin Durant and Tim Duncan mixed together. Is that fair to say? Yeah.
Yeah. Something about the playoffs this year, I think he's gotten more aggressive. So I think he's getting into, like, if Gary Payton was a nice guy. Like
Gary Payton? Okay. Yeah. Please elaborate.
Like, just in the demeanor, the attitude on the court.
I love that. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't like speculation that he's like calling shots to have somebody get hit or like to have somebody fouled hard on the Thunder because they've been going at him for too long. And it's like he controlled how the Spurs played. And oh my God, he's so young. And like, if his body holds up, I think he's the face of the league. And he's so well spoken, he's so educated, he's so like he's just with it. And I do not want him to be on top of the league, but I'm going to enjoy this first run because while I want the Knicks to win, I think that the Spurs are going to win.
I feel the same way. But the Knicks have only lost what? Like, I think
5
games or 2 games in total.
2 games in the playoffs, I believe.
In the playoffs, what are they?
They've rattled off 11 straight.
I know they won both series. They swept both series here, the last 2 series.
They lost.
I know the first series.
They lost the first 2, and then.
But Kirby's here on the Cats and Rats podcast, and Wemby loves his craft. He's not about flashy stuff and away from the court. And I love that.
Who was the last phenom we talked about like this? It was like Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like Ben Simmons didn't really care about basketball.
And that's not so much. I know a lot of people are like, oh, if we don't care about basketball, now that means he's not going to be good. It's a different notion as like, I don't care like what people perceive me in basketball.
Yep.
Right? And to not like say that, oh, I don't care about basketball. I think he cares about basketball because you could see the work and the ethic and the craft that he's built these last 4 years, since being drafted. I mean, when he first came into the league, he was rookie of the year. And then he just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and like literally not just getting taller, but
he's a game breaker.
He's a game breaker. Like, dude, you know what I love about him? His effort going back on defense, which is the effort I've been saying about LeBron James, does not do. Am I safe to say that? Like, I like we almost like effort more than I do LeBron James.
Wembanyama.
You're
saying it like Pat Riley. Wembaya.
Everybody knows I'm so bad at names. I am.
No, it's fine. No, but you're right. He's going to be the guy that takes the crown. Like I don't think we have to worry about whether it's going to be Anthony Edwards or it's going to be SGA or Brunson was never going to be that guy, but he was always going to be 1A on a very good team, and that's why I'm rooting for the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for anyone here. I just want a good series. I'm actually going to pay attention to it this time.
I'm way more excited about.
I'm excited more about this series than I was the last year's series. Last year it was Oklahoma and Boston. Or who was it?
It was a snoozer.
I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize. I did not watch the NBA Finals last year.
All I know is
Oklahoma did win the championship.
It was the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton went out.
Oh, that's right.
Game 6.
You're right. Yeah,
I remember watching Game 7 at Flanagan's.
Kirby's a big Pacer fan, so I remember him watching it. Yeah, I know. How could I forget Kirby? Sorry about your Pacers. But yeah, it's crazy. I think this is going to be an exciting NBA Finals. It starts here on Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern time. I believe the first game is in San Antonio.
Yep.
So 2 games in San Antonio, and then they go back to New York. Oh, could you imagine? I can't wait to see the atmosphere in New York.
They haven't had prices.
No. What are the ticket prices, JP?
So getting in the door in San Antonio, it's about $500.
Okay, it's about like Florida, like kind of like what we have here.
Do you want to give me a guess on MSG?
3,500.
That's low.
No.
Yeah, it's around 4,800.
Wow.
Depending on your ticketing site.
Hey, are our boys iTix now associated?
Any ticketing site that wants to sponsor us, go ahead.
We're looking for sponsors, by the way. If you guys know anybody, if you guys have your own business, shout out to BigCeaz. We got you.
And a Jeremy Tache.
No, that is crazy. $4,800. But that's at Madison Square Garden. It doesn't surprise me.
It's a get in.
New York is high price, right? In general.
I went to the game against the Rangers, and to sit in a section, we're in Florida, it would be about $60, $70 on game day. 170, 180.
Oh.
For a regular season game where both teams are out of it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm way more excited about the NBA Finals than I am the Cup Final.
Yep. And this is the first NBA Finals since '99, right? For the Knicks. 27 years later. So they've officially have beaten the Cowboys and ending that drought on being in the championship, which kind of sucks for me. And especially with this Myles Garrett trade, it's just like, oh man, are you serious? But yeah, no, I'm excited for the Knicks. I have a lot of friends that are Knicks fans. My boy Jimmy D, he's excited about them. There's a lot of New York. I'm just curious, just because like there's a lot of celebrities that live in New York, and seeing them on the court and just watching the atmosphere. I think I'm more excited to see about the atmosphere, and see what happens on the streets of New York if they do win, right?
Grease those light poles, just
Oh
like
my
you would in
gosh.
Philly.
How many people are gonna be like, how many people are how many news articles and videos are we gonna see where man falls from a light post from celebrating the NBA championship ring in New York?
New York City is going to turn into Gotham City.
It literally
The
is.
origin story of Mr. Freeze is going to happen. No, it's like I love like the silly stuff that comes around with like championships, and it's like, the New York City mayor is going ahead and signing an executive order that bedtime has been repealed for children during the Knicks playoff run, so that all kids now have government approval to stay up past their bedtime.
Oh my gosh.
That was a
I can
funny
so
little
see
video
that.
they put out today.
I could definitely see that happening. Oh man, that is so great. But yeah, let's kind of move on to the next topic. We'll talk about it a little bit briefly here. Um, our boy Alexander Barkov wins the uh, world hockey. What is it? Yeah, the men's world's gold medal in Team Finland. Wins it here yesterday against I believe Switzerland, right?
Yeah,
So
Switzerland, three straight silver
three
medals, three
straight.
shutouts.
They win it in overtime in a shootout. Not a shootout, a 3-on-3. Shouts out to Alexander Barkov. Here doing the same celebration he did when he won the second Stanley Cup final, lifting up the trophy like they do in soccer. It was so cool to see. So happy for him. A lot of Florida Panther fans are happy for him. The grind, the hard work that he had done this year. The guy just keeps winning, and he talked about it too after he won, saying this was always a dream of him to be a world champion for his country, and he got to do it with Team Finland. Um, Joe Harvey's, I think I said it right. I'm so bad at names. He played with the Panthers for a short time. He had a good series as well. I know we talked about it yesterday on the Cats and Rats podcast. That would be a guy that we wouldn't mind seeing come back with Florida if we don't end up signing AJ Greer. So I could definitely see that potentially happening. Um, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Did you watch any of the tournament at all, JP?
I was catching clips here and there. A lot of it was daytime stuff while I'm working. So, but it's really it's cool to see the Panthers support Lundell and Barkov. And Barkov was like he was a general out there. He wasn't doing the flashy plays, but he was letting flashy plays happen around him. And it's like he was pushing everybody around him to be the best they could. And he's a captain for a reason for
Exactly.
for that team and for the Panthers.
Yeah, and congratulations to him. So happy that he won, and I'm excited for this upcoming season. I know Kirby was a little bit, worried about him in general, just like being
So
injured
glad to see
again.
that he made it through fine.
He's
Just oh
fine.
my god, dude.
I know everybody was like on their edge, but I personally didn't mind it. I don't think the coaching staff or any of the medical staff will put him in a situation where they think he's not ready, because I think they knew that if the Florida Panthers would have made the playoffs, he would have been out there playing. So
Yes, absolutely. And I think the fact that it's an international game, there's less contact, I
yeah,
would say. Um, kind of, I mean, even though his injury was non-contact, I think the chance to re-injure himself was low in this style of hockey.
Yeah. And here's Alexander talking about his win here.
Finally, I don't know if there ever was a doubt to you to come here, but you did miss the entire season. Like, how happy are you that you came here?
Oh, I'm so happy. I don't know. I kind of knew that I wanted to play at the end of the season, and I could have played at the end of the season, but it didn't work out in Florida. But I'm very, very thankful for this chance and very thankful for every single person who made this happen for me.
All right, thank you. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. He's such a gem. He's so happy, and man, there's nothing more exciting than seeing Alexander be another champion, and he's a champion of his country. Anton Lundell was so amazing too. We can't forget about him. He's so great. I'm so happy for those guys, and can't wait for them to end up coming back next season and being full health as well. So, JP, let's get to your exciting part here. We got our boy, somebody who you've been waiting for to come on here, and I'm excited to get to know as well. Help us introduce our next guest.
Yeah, so he's my favorite new addition to the Le Batard Show over the last few years. He is a man of many hats. He is beyond the host of the Pitch Clock. He is the in-stadium host for the Marlins, sideline reporter for the Miami Heat. He is a member of the Wu-Tang Clan by way of the Greg Cody. Yeah, he's a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. It's been said. But yeah, this is one of my favorite people to listen to on the Le Batard Show, Mr. Jeremy Tache.
Jeremy, welcome aboard. Welcome to the BigCeaz Show, man.
Hey, it is awesome to be here with you guys. Love that introduction. Appreciate that introduction. Ooh.
Oh.
Applause. Have a little fanfare.
There we go. Yeah, of course.
For having me, for real. This is it's exciting to be here. And yes, indeed, the Wu-Tang Clan did knight me as one of their own. Thank you to Greg Cody for that one. But thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is gonna be fun.
No, thank you for coming on, Jeremy. Really excited to talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna let JP take it away.
Yeah, so let's start Marlins. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Sorry, I'm a Braves fan. Just want to let
this
you know.
guy. Enough of him.
But it's okay. I was happy. I was happy you guys won. Well, I wasn't happy, but you know, at least you guys got 12 runs on us.
Caesar had a bad time last month.
The one night I had to go to the game.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's actually fitting that it would be like the one time that you actually have to go and they drop 12 on you. That's fun.
It's okay. We won the next.
There was a grand slam, right?
That's all right. God, it was an unbelievable game. We'll always have 12-0. We'll always have 12-0.
So
okay.
like, what's like big picture? Like, what's the vibe looking like in the locker room as far as you can tell going into the summer?
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't been around during this road trip, and obviously there's been a little bit of struggle. You just get swept by the Mets. That doesn't feel good. I think
you guys swept the Mets, right?
Yeah. Look, it's been a weird start to the season, I would say, for Marlins. I mean, ironically, right around this time last year, they were swept by the Colorado Rockies, who at the time were one of the worst teams in baseball, and that then inspired what became a pretty special run through mid-June and throughout July, bringing them right back into what ended up being kind of a fun race down the stretch. They were just on the outside looking in. They're going to need that type of mojo to come back here sooner rather than later. I think a lot of the guys on the Marlins are feeling like they're just a tick away from being the type of players that they anticipated being throughout this season. A perfect example is a guy like Jacob Marcy, who, if you look at his counting stats, like he's had a pretty rough start to the season, you would say. I mean, he's hitting right around 200 as a guy who was absolutely dominant once he got called up last year. But some of the underlying metrics And I hate to be, the analytics guy in that respect, but some of the
Our
underlying metrics,
community loves the metrics.
yeah, look, they would show you that he's a better player than what that output has been. He's also near the top of the league in steals, a really good defensive outfielder. So there's all sorts of guys who have just been hit or miss. The real issue has been the starting pitching. And the health of that starting pitching now has become an even bigger issue. And if you want to have a real cause for concern as we head into the summer, it's the fact that Robbie Snelling is out for the year. It's the fact that Jansen Junk's about to miss a couple starts. It's the fact that Yuri Perez is about to miss a couple starts. So all of a sudden, something that had been a strength turns into a bit of a weakness for the Marlins. And that was something that they were relying on, was having really strong starting pitching and being able to piece together runs in a Tampa Bay Rays type way of put the ball in play, make things happen on the bases. And it just hasn't quite come together. I don't think that they feel out of it by any means. Like, there's so much baseball left to be played.
Right.
And there are so many guys on the team who continue to improve, even from where they stood at the beginning of the season. The irony is in all of this, there are 4 guys who were legitimate, to me, all have legitimate cases to be all-stars. Max Myers, the only qualified pitcher in baseball, starting pitcher without a loss.
He was actually the pitcher the day I went.
He's spectacular.
Incredible.
He's been amazing. He's been really, really good. And then you look at Xavier Edwards, might be the best second baseman in the National League. Otto Lopez leads the National League in hits. Liam Hicks is right near the top of the league in RBIs. So it's like there's all of these guys who have been great stories. Unfortunately, it hasn't all come together and led to a lot of wins thus far.
Do you think the depth as the backups, they don't have the depth that they had, that most teams have, like the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Nationals right now? They're looking pretty good offensively. So they don't have the depth on their team that all these other teams have.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because you could argue that really outside of the Braves, like if you look at the National League East, there's not a lot of teams that have the type of depth that the Braves do in particular, right?
Which is really surprising to me.
Yeah,
too.
But you know what? The Braves have had a history here of year after year after year, finding a way to build teams, to grow guys of their own, but also find free agents who can contribute in the right way. Dominic Smith is like a great example.
Oh, he is my favorite player. Like
amazing.
him and Dubon.
Yeah.
Like those 2 guys single-handedly, utility guys that aren't really everyday players, right?
Yep.
But they find a way to play in every situation. Like Dubon can play outfield, he can play third base, second base, shortstop. He can even pinch hit whenever you need him to. So
that's absolutely right. And you that's a thing that the Marlins are trying to do, is create positional versatility with a lot of their players, to make it so that on a given night, a different guy could play 4 different positions, right? And so I think that there are a couple of guys who have not quite panned out, I think, the way that they an obvious example at the moment in terms of output has been Christopher Morel, who's a guy they signed hoping he could provide some pop from the right-handed side. He has not performed the way that they hoped he would. And you can look around the roster and point to specific examples of, dang, if that guy was having a little bit more production, and it's a lot of the right-handed hitters, right? Like their left-handed lineup is a lot stronger than their right-handed lineup. The left-handed lineup is the one that handed 12 runs to the Braves on the night that you were there, versus a right-handed lineup that struggles otherwise, and had to go up against like Chris Sale. So, I think that depth is an issue really across Major League Baseball for some teams. In this new platoon era where there's a lot of like left versus right versus left, and you're trying to maximize efficiencies. I think analytics, like everybody gets into a deep conversation about that all the time. To me, they're a useful tool. And I think the Marlins have actually done a very good job of utilizing them to acquire players. I just named before Liam Hicks and Otto Lopez. Those are guys that their models identified as off the scrap heap. We're going to take this guy who was DFA'd, or we're going to take this guy from AA, because we've identified certain things in their game that we think they're elite at, and we're going to help make them better. And they've done that. flip side would be there are other guys that have been dart throws that are already major league talent that have not had as much success, or there's in-game management situations where if you rely too much on the models, that in-game feel is sometimes necessary, whether that comes to the bullpen, whether that comes to pinch hitting, whether that comes to starting certain guys on certain nights. And so if you become too reliant on it, it can be an issue. And this has been an issue for the Marlins, as it's been for like, you could look anywhere across Major League Baseball and we all get hyper focused on our local fan bases. We do it with the Heat. I remember we had a conversation on the Levitard show the other day about the concept of the turd quarter, right? When it comes to the Heat, you know who else calls it the turd quarter? Lakers fans. Like, everyone thinks their team is the only one going through whatever issues might exist. And outside of the 4 or 5 teams that are having great seasons, like your Braves or the Dodgers or whoever else, everyone has these same complaints. But for the Marlins, it's a fan base that can be hypersensitive to change, that can be concerned about the future anytime something doesn't work exactly how they hope it's going to.
With every right.
Yeah, with every right. Like, there's been years and years of whether it's betrayal or frustration. What I would say is based on my experiences that I've had. Last year I did a TV show for what was then FanDuel Sports Network. That was it was called Marlins All Access Next Wave. And basically once a month I was going to different spots in the minor league system and talking with their coaches and the players and all of the people who were part of their development program and learning about kind of the way the Marlins are trying to build it. And everything that I learned from the people who either were new or had been within the Marlins organization for years and years and years was like, wow, they are on the same page in a way that not a lot of other organizations are. Their communication, the way that they're trying to build it. I trust in this group in a way that I haven't been able to with some others in the past. Does that mean it's going to work 100%? I don't know. But I think that the actual structure is there in a way that's reliable and that you can hope will be successful. I think the people in place are good at what they do, but now it's a matter of, in a world in which basically everybody but 5 or 6 teams are a bit financially restricted, you go from there and you hope that your model works as well as some others.
So I wanted to ask a hypothetical with, how does this, I guess, core group of front office people with Bendix look if they even entered into a situation where they proposed labor, like if there is a cap floor, what does that look like for the Marlins? Like I'm
fascinated.
More stars, right?
Yeah, because I know we were going to talk about like the new labor agreement where the owners have proposed it was like $175 million floor.
Yeah.
$245 million top, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the players, what they proposed was essentially a tax on both ends. So a soft cap and a soft floor. So basically saying like, hey, look, if you're a team and you spend under that amount, okay, that just means the ownership now has to pay a tax on every dollar under
anti-luxury tax.
Right. And then there's a luxury tax as well, which I actually find to be a very interesting strategy to all of that, which basically incentivizes teams to stay within that boundary, but then doesn't put it in a space where now player finances are hard capped in the way that they could be. I'm always going to be a little bit pro labor. That's just kind of where I'm at as a guy. I think we all should be, right? Like, I think it's
we the people.
Yeah, where we the people should stand. And so I do find that to be more interesting. I'll answer your question in 2 parts though, right? Because I want to state this from the jump. With where the Marlins are right now, if the Marlins are to have success within the model that they've created, right, you're going to see waves of 5 or 6 stars, 5 or 6 prospects of the same age coming up around the same time, right? So right now you see what one of those layers is right now. And it includes, Jacob Marcy. And if you look around the whole infield, right, you look at Xavier Edwards, you look at Owen Casey, you look at Jacob Marcy, you look at Otto Lopez, who's a year or two older, Connor Norby. All these guys are about of the same age. Kyle Stowers, ironically, being a couple of years older than the rest of the chunk of them. The hope would be, if you're the Marlins, within this version of baseball that exists and within this version of the front office, if 5 or 6 guys come up who are major league ready at a time, they can all contribute. You're able to properly lock in on the 1 or 2 that are worth continuing to build around for your future. You lock those 2 up. You either let the rest walk or move them as they get closer to the end of their contracts to cycle back with another 3 or 4 prospects that then become part of those building blocks moving forward as the next wave of guys come up.
Kind of what the Braves have done.
Exactly. What the Braves have done. What the Rays
came up, right?
Yep.
The Rays do. Ronald Acuna, the first year, I think the second year got that 10-year deal, $100 million.
Yep.
Hit him right off the bat.
Yep. Ozzie
Albies.
Yep.
Michael Harris Jr.
Yep.
Those guys.
That's exactly right. And by the way, Michael Harris Jr., the next wave of guys. He was not with Albies and Acuna. He was that next group. And so what you're ultimately hoping to do is identify 1 or 2 guys per group who work out, whether they're pitchers, whether they're position players, and you go from there and you extend them, right? And then you continue to financially supplement with these other guys who you've built. And because you believe in your model and you believe in your ability to get the best out of your players and to develop, you're constantly going to be able to compete while still being in the lower echelon of the payroll and having the few guys that you've locked up. If your model works, you're going to lose some guys who you grow to love. But if you look across Major League Baseball, the perfect example that I like to use is the Astros. The Astros won the World Series in 2017, right? And who was on that team? Jose Altuve, who's still there. Alex Bregman, who was not. Carlos Correa, who was not. George Springer, who was not. Like, everyone's gone from that group. But it happened over the course of years because they were not all the same age. They figured out the 1 or 2 guys who were worth locking in for the long term to continue to build around with fellas like Jeremy Pena or Yordan Alvarez, or so that they can continue to compete. And so even a team that went and won the World Series, they don't keep everybody. Now, the hope would be that the best of the best, you pay enough to stay. And I think the Marlins' plan would be that if they can get to this space where they're competitive, they'll do that. Now, if we move into this future world where there is a cap and there is a floor, I have no idea how that's going to work for teams like the Marlins and the Rays and the Brewers and the Guardians and the Pirates that are all in the lower echelon, because where does this money come from? Who do they go get? It's not like all of a sudden everybody will be a free agent and that all of a sudden there's going to be all of these guys that are worth spending that level of money on. So I don't really know where this goes.
That's what labor loves.
Yeah, but
and it's crazy because I think there's only 5 teams that are over the luxury tax now, over the $245 million. So those teams would obviously have to go down to under the 45. But yeah, you're right. Like if you do have that labor agreement, and who are the Marlins going to pick up now to get up to that cap space, right?
Right.
Do they trade, or do they trade for somebody like I don't know, just trying to throw?
Just wait for another Stanton situation.
Yeah, it's funny though, right?
Just don't trade him to the Yankees.
I just have no idea how that process will work. No one's really explained properly to me. Like, okay, this new labor agreement exists, and there are all of these teams who are below the cap, and there are these 5 or 6 teams that are above the hard cap. What happens? Like, where does it go? If they agree to this, do we have a 2 or 3 year window where they like smooth it out? And so you have to incrementally get there. Does this all happen at once? Like, no one has properly explained. And I think it's because we're so early in this process. Like we are, we're still really early. We're not even halfway through this baseball season, let alone to the off season where this is really happening. But I'm fascinated to see what it'll mean. And for a team like the Marlins, like, look, I will say this: the rev share elements that the owners proposed of the full 50-50 split on TV revenue would be something that would help not just the Marlins, but a good 12 or 13 teams across Major League Baseball who have all recently had to move from what was then FanDuel Sports Network now to being run internally by Major League Baseball.
Right.
Because teams like the Dodgers and the Mets have these, and the Yankees who have these massive
RSNs,
TV deals.
Toronto, even
massive,
though they're in Canada, right?
massive TV deals. Like that money being evenly split amongst major league teams would be a huge influx of cash that would be really helpful in evening some of those things out and would incentivize a team to go out and spend some money. It's just a matter of like the one thing you don't want to have happen is now all of a sudden the Marlins are just having to spend $90 million. And it's just like, all right, well, this guy's a free agent. He's not worth it, but here you go. So yeah, I find it fascinating. I think that like getting things closer to even is obviously a good thing for everyone. But the one thing you don't want to see happen is, and not to like start going on economic tirades here, but like it is very funny that basically across professional sports, you have all of these mega capitalists who then create their own little socialist within their league because they can't trust each other not to outspend each other.
Yep.
And so you create this little socialist collective to suppress the wages of your labor that's worked to get there, that you're then making the money off the backs of, so that you can sell these things for billions of dollars later down the line. It's ridiculous. And so the one thing I don't want to see happen in Major League Baseball is too much for suppression of finances. These numbers are all ridiculous. Nobody's hurting playing Major League Baseball. But if we're going to be free market capitalists, be free market capitalists and let these people make money that they will get on an open market. So yeah, I'm fascinated by it. I just hope it doesn't mean that I'm out of work next year, because that would suck.
Exactly. And
you always got room here in the BigCeaz Show with us.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to joining you guys weekly should that time come. And by the way, as we're having this conversation, Liam Hicks hit a home run, and Kyle Stowers just hit a homer, so the Marlins are leading 7-3.
Nice. Okay.
When they hit, they hit.
Yeah.
And a lot can be said about Dana Snyder, but the NFL owners kept him in check with his spending.
Yeah, look, I mean,
because he always fought for like raising the cap. He was like the one owner that would do it.
Right. It's very complicated. It's very complicated, and it's
That's
not
a tangent.
to say
That's a tangent.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Our friend here on the Cats and Rats podcast, Kirby's like, Leafs media on TV today still pissed about the cap and spending revenue out. Yankees, Dodgers are big market teams with TV deals will push them back. And he also said that you'd have to give the Dodgers at least 2 to 3 years with the new CBA under the new tax, and it's not their fault, but the cap needs to happen, which I kind of agree. I think me, even being a Braves fan, because they're up there, they're in the top, 10. I would like to have more revenue spread out, where a lot of these teams like the Marlins, the Devil Rays, and a lot of these teams that don't have that luxury of spending go out and spend the money, and being able to have that, because I think it's definitely a disadvantage when you do have like the Dodgers. Now it's baseball, like not always do the Yankees or the Dodgers always win, but seeing Johan Ohtani's deal and them being able to bring the players that they got, it's like, well, what about us?
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's a funny place that baseball is in right now, in particular, that this is happening because of the fact that the Dodgers are what the Dodgers are now.
They broke the dam.
Yeah, and so it sucks because like the Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009, so nobody thinks about the fact, right? Yeah, nobody thinks about the fact that they're out there spending in the top 5 every single season, or that the Mets are out there spending right near the top of the league every season. But because the Dodgers specifically spent on Freeman and spent on Ohtani and got bets when the Red Sox of all teams were unwilling to spend, the narrative surrounding that team that then has gone on to win back-to-back World Series, it's a perfect storm to head into this offseason in an uncomfortable place, particularly if they go win another one.
Yeah, and it definitely did hurt when Freddie Freeman signed for more money, after winning a World Series with us.
Matt Olson, you could
I was
argue he's
gonna
been a
say,
better player since, so I wouldn't be too upset.
Give a lot of credit
Kid's a
to
stud.
Alex Antopoulos, the general manager for the Braves. He just goes out and finds talent like out of the blue. You know, ended up finding Greg Olson right away, and as soon as they traded for him, I'm like, oh, well, there goes Freddie Freeman, and you know, it took a while for me to like get over the fact that he was gone, but Matt Olson has done a great job with making that his team now. And I think that, you know, Braves fans have slowly come to terms that this is Matt Olson's team. And, you know, I think that if the Marlins continue to do what they're doing, maybe go out and sign or trade for a big player at least to help the franchise move a little bit over the top, because they haven't been in the playoffs. Last year was the first time, right?
They
They
the
did the
Marlins were in the
pandemic season.
playoffs in 2020, and then in 2023.
23. That's when it was. Okay.
Yeah, and 23 was kind of a weird. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, there's there's a million things we can get into and all of that. But I do think that like, look, having a financial boost would be great. You know, the Marlins, as much of an amazing environment as we create over at Lone Depot Park, and I really genuinely believe that even with attendance numbers that are not where anyone would love them to be, we have some fun at those games, and I think it'd be awesome to see more people there. But that being said, like, we know where things have stood with attendance before, so in turn we know where the revenue has been on that side. We know where it's at with the TV side. And so, yeah, the Marlins operate as, no matter what we think of our market, the Marlins operate as a small market team. And so now it's up to us as a group of fans to get out there and support when the team is playing well and when the team's not playing well. Like, it's still your team, right? So no different. I mean, I know you guys are Panthers guys, right? And like, I know you were there before they started winning cups. And so, but we also had to see, like, I think I was going to Panther games when I was in high school, and it was not exactly what it is now in terms of attendance.
Get those Publix tickets?
Yeah, like, it was not exactly what it is now. And so, but you see that growth, and you see what a fan base down here can really turn into when it supports the organization. And so, yes, the Marlins have to earn that for a combination.
Machete is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Hey, man, that machete's good. I'll tell you that. Machete's good. It can feed a family of 4 for $50. I'll take that.
It looks so good. I have to go to a Marlins.
It is so. I'm telling you, it's so good. You come out to a game.
Can we talk some Heat?
Let's do it. Hey, let's do it. I'm a Heat fan, so
hell yeah. All right,
I'm not.
Same page.
I'm not at all.
I love that hat, by the way.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite color scheme.
So good. I love it.
All right, so the elephant in the room is Giannis.
It is.
I don't think we should talk about that too much. I don't want to jinx anything. What do you think are like realistic expectations for next year?
Well, look, let's be real. It totally depends on the Giannis thing.
Okay, fair enough.
So it does. Like, I think
just bring the elephant in the room, man.
Yeah, let's just bring it in here. I can't quite squeeze him in. Look, I think that the Heat are positioned to have a good offseason, whether it's Giannis or not, right? Like, I think that there are several Kawhi Leonard, like,
yep. But do we really want Kawhi Leonard?
So here's the thing.
I mean, he's
here's
in
the thing.
Clippers, and
got to be a piece, just a piece.
I think we lost Jeremy.
Buffering.
Sorry, guys.
Was the computer buffering?
Not too sure. Jeremy, can you hear us?
Jeremy, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? You got me?
I got you now.
I like the singing. I like the singing.
Jeremy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so you got me now. So what I would say is about any of these players, the reality is that all the guys you just named, right? Giannis, Kawhi, Ja, they all carry some sort of durability concern. Ironically, even though he's the youngest, Ja more than most.
Get off
Kawhi,
Instagram,
Especially after Heat fans are, done with Tyler Hero and his injuries. Like,
yeah, of
are
course.
we going to move on from him and then bring in somebody else that's also injured?
Yeah, look, it's complicated. At the same time, the upside on all of those players is legitimately great. Again, going to Giannis and Kawhi in particular. Like Kawhi is coming off of what might very well be his best season of basketball.
he was a Sherpa for that.
It's
Clippers game.
amazing. It's amazing. Like he was amazing. And I would have
Turn that
no
second half around.
Yeah, outside of the fact that I worry that about all the aspiration stuff.
Shout out to
we
Pablo.
Put that to the side. I swear to God, I've said this before and I will say it again. If Kawhi Leonard ends up on the Heat and then suspended by the NBA, I will hunt Pablo down myself. Like I will hunt him
Pablo
down.
should also be on the Terry Rozier.
Yeah, well, the Terry Rozier thing,
yeah.
I
want that first round draft pick. Give it back to me.
This whole thing. But anyway, going to the Giannis side of it, right? Like if it's Giannis, I do think that whatever you build around Giannis and Bam is a great team. Like I think people underestimate just how great Giannis still is.
And then Bam can play his position.
Oh my God.
Power
It'd
forward.
be amazing.
Wouldn't have to score 83.
How long have you been trying to get him away from the center position, please?
And what a perfect thing to be able to have in Giannis. The irony being that, like, you know who the only guy ever to really be able to slow down Giannis is? It's Bam. So it's like, what are you supposed to do from there?
Right?
He's the one guy that's been a bit of a Giannis stopper in the entire league, like ever. And so I do think that if you're able to make that happen, regardless of what it takes, you feel like you're in a very good position. That could be then building a team where, all right, now you re-sign Norman Powell and you have Andrew Wiggins, opt into his player option or even opt out and sign a longer term contract. And you go, all right, those are our 4 guys for the next couple of years. And you're kind of piecing things around them. Or are you using Norman Powell and Andrew Wiggins to go acquire somebody else? This is my fun little dream scenario, not having any information, not saying it's going to happen, furthest thing from it. But hell, could the Lakers not use Andrew Wiggins? And in turn, would it not be the coolest thing in the world if you traded for Giannis and then got LeBron? Like, come on, how cool would that be? And what a fun combination that would be of those 3 guys, and then building it out from there.
Bring Bronny too.
Hell yeah, bring Bronny.
Yeah,
bring
whatever.
Thanasis, sure. Bring whoever you want.
Like, kids got to go to school. Like, just
no. I mean, look, my view of it is like, I feel here. My big thing is like, if you can go get Giannis, and who knows, right? Like, there are multiple teams in a position here that can go grab him. Maybe Milwaukee looks at Boston and says, hey, we want to take Jaylen Brown, and we don't want to hit rock bottom because we don't have our own picks. And so in turn, we'll take like a pick and that guy and build another mediocre thing around him. Okay, that's fine. You could do that.
If he goes to the Thunder.
Right now, the Thunder are another one.
They have a lot of good pieces too.
Look, the Thunder could offer Chet Holmgren and some picks and call it a day as well. Do I think that's what they're going to do? No, I don't think that's what they're going to do. But could they? Absolutely. And that would be a really great package. Chet's 24. He's a stud, regardless of whatever just happened against Wemby. Like, he's a stud. And then you could look over and you could look at Portland as well, right? And Portland could offer you some combination of young players and salary filler. And what they can offer Milwaukee that other teams can't is they can offer their own picks back. And
I don't think Giannis is gonna like. I don't think Giannis is gonna like the doubling up the hotel rooms.
Look, I don't think so either. And I think that the reality is you would be doing it. The reason I think it would be complicated for Portland is, and I get, look, new owners love making splashes. That's what makes you concerned. The flip side would be is if he already doesn't want to go there, and you do have an owner who's kind of cost cutting around the corners in a town that he doesn't necessarily want to be in. you'd be taking a giant risk on a guy who's not going to immediately sign an extension with you. And in turn, what are you really willing to give up? Now, can you? The thing is they can just give the Bucks their picks back and give them a bunch of salary filler, and maybe the Bucks say, okay, at least now we control our own destiny, right? But in the new anti-tanking era, where you can't get a top 5 pick 3 years in a row, and
change that, right?
It kind of disincentivizes the hitting of rock bottom. So ultimately, acquiring a player in Tyler Hero, who is an all-star scoring guard, who's from where you're from, who is only on 1 year left of his deal that you could decide to extend or move at the deadline or just let go. Kel'el Ware, who is a crazy talented young player, a few picks, and a combination of either Jaquez or Jovic or both. Like, that's a really, really strong package. Like, if I'm the Heat, like I'm making sure I even want to offer that package. That's a everybody has been doing this thing with Miami for a few years now, because whatever the best was that the Heat could offer wasn't that strong. But over the last few years, that has changed. These young players are not the young players that were being offered before, like Kendrick Nunn. These picks are not like one pick and that's it. Kel'el Ware is an uber talented young prospect. Tyler Hero has emerged into a guy that can get you 20 on any given night. That is not a slouch of a player to acquire. And so ultimately, like, what the Heat are offering, if that is truly what the offer is a really, really, really good package for Milwaukee. And so if they do accept it, and all of those players I just mentioned are off the table, you start having the conversations about where to go from there. And this is where the Heat are fortunate in that Giannis likely would be willing to sign an extension right away. That puts them in the position to then sign Bam to their extension just about right away. You have those two building blocks, and either cap room that frees up going into next year because you convince Norman Powell to come back on a high number for 1 year, and then he and Wiggins expire and you go from there and you have more room to play, or you use those contracts along with any of the other pieces that you have left, not necessarily picks, but other players, to try to go acquire yet another guy, whether that's Ja, whether that's Kawhi, whether that's LeBron. And maybe none of that happens, and you just kind of pair these role players, you use your mid-level exemption to try to go get another big, so you have a nice big rotation, and you go from there. Or we have some real fun. And to me, it's like, step one in this process is do what you got to do to go get Giannis.
Yeah.
Step two becomes go from there, right? And I will say, like, you know, look, the Heat are far away, like, from being a champion. Do I think, by the way, like, do I look at the Eastern Conference and say, like, man, if some things had just actually gone right, they could have competed with just about any of these teams? Yeah, a lot went wrong. Like,
went from
over the last
from
year
like
and
the
a half.
5 or 6 seed to the 8 seed.
Yeah, over the span of like a week, like a lot went wrong.
The way that supposed to change the way the offense was played. You know, they started off hot. You know, team was scoring over 100.
Oh, that was so fun.
Game.
What were those sideline reports like?
Oh,
like
it was a blast,
150
dude.
points a game.
150 points. It was crazy. I was just bugging up like, hey, what the hell is this? And they were like, I don't know, man. Like, it was crazy.
It just keeps going to the basket.
Yeah, the ball just keeps going in. No, it was really fun. I mean, the vibes were great, and, like, you know, the guys were in a good place. And I think, like, you know, that's the thing that when Bam says, like, I'm sick of the play-in, it's like, look, dude, that guy goes out there every single night and goes to war for his team. And, like, I'll give him credit. I love Bam, man. He's a good guy. He plays his ass off. He's a wonderful guy to build around. He's a perfect culture carrier for everything that the Heat stand for on and off the floor. Like, that's exactly who you want to have as the captain of your team. And now it's about getting some players in there with the talent that can help him reach his maximum potential.
He
And look,
deserves.
we sometimes forget, like, guys, a year and a half ago on the calendar, Jimmy Butler was still on the Heat. That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, we forget that, like, that was the first full season without Jimmy. after a year in which he tanked a season for the team, like not saying he tanked it when he was on the floor necessarily, although we all saw what happened at the end, but more like that season was never going to go anywhere once that all was going down.
Yeah,
And
it
you've
just
played
everything was just going
one
down there.
season since then. So I think it's okay that you had one season that had its moments, went a little weird, and now you're in a position to go, all right, you know, like they were setting everything up for when the Jimmy years were done. And then those years ended earlier than they anticipated. And is it their own fault maybe for hanging on longer than they should have and not resetting earlier? Sure, they can hold their share of the blame. But at the same time, like you're in a position now and going into next year and then the year after that where I think you're in a spot to hopefully build something fun for the future.
And yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and you just kind of hope that, you know, that this offseason is T-ball. You want one chip to fall, and then
Yes,
you
and
can
then
start
go
to
from
worry
there.
start to worry about the future from there. If you don't mind, I wanted to pivot to Camp Fiesta, because that was actually the first reason I reached out to you. It's been a year. I think I started talking to you about Camp Fiesta after my son got diagnosed with leukemia. And so I just wanted to, first of all, say that you and your family do some awesome work. I know firsthand how much these kids are looking for some sort of normal, some sort of fun. And so it, like, the first time you brought it up on the show, like I didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden it's at my front door, and I'm like, he's doing what for kids that, you know, there's a chance they might not even remember what they're going through. So it's like, I first off, before I even ask any questions, I just wanted to say thank you for being such a good part of the community. And there's a huge portion of families of kids that don't know what to do, but if you send them to a summer camp, a sleepaway camp, like, you have no idea what that does for these kids. And so
Amazing.
if there's anyone that knows what it does for these kids, it's you.
Oh man, JP, like, geez, dude. First of all, like, thank you. Second, we haven't talked about this in a while, so I hope your son is doing okay at the moment.
He's doing awesome.
Awesome. Okay, good. I could not be happier to hear that. How old is he again?
He is about 3.5.
It's crazy, man. No, these kids.
He lost all his hair last summer and grew it all back, and we were pretty much just like, you're losing your baby hair.
Yep.
You're growing in your big kid hair, and
that's
then,
right.
Like, and then he grew it out so long to the point where it's just like he was so happy to get a haircut. And I'm like, yeah, dude, let's get a haircut.
It's the most amazing thing.
Presumably, you're not going to lose it again,
right?
So it's like,
good.
So he's been awesome.
Good. Well, I couldn't be happier to hear that he's doing well. And yeah, okay, so. Whew, all right. I'm not going to get emotional.
Enough with the intros of
geez. Okay, so for those who are watching that don't know, Camp Fiesta is a 9-day sleepaway summer camp for children with cancer based down here in South Florida. It's a fully non-for-profit camp. It used to be a part of an organization that once existed called the Children's Cancer Caring Center. That was started by an incredible woman named Lee Klein, who that organization basically raised money through socialites and people donating. That's basically how it started. Like, it was like 50s socialites. But basically it was them raising money to pay for the cancer treatment of families that were uninsured down here in South Florida. Which is just unbelievable. And then basically she started this offshoot of a summer camp. And thank God for what ended up becoming a part of my life. My uncle, who was a youth group director in South Florida, was asked to become the director of this camp. And within the first couple of years, his little sister, my mom, and her boyfriend, my dad, became camp counselors. And now my dad is the director. My mom is the vice president. And I was basically born in to this unbelievable thing. And it's really crazy to be a counselor there because I've grown up with so many of the counselors because majority of our counselors now, it's myself and my brother, one other young woman who are counselors there who did not
John
go
Lennon.
through camp. Yes, John Lennon, George Harrison, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He looks like a Beatle.
There we go.
And my brother and myself and one other counselor are the only counselors at this point who are not former campers. So every single other counselor
So awesome.
was a pediatric cancer patient who came to camp as a camper, beat cancer, and now is
Wow.
living their life. And it's the most special thing in the world to be a part of. Like it's so everything that I say about it, it always sounds like a cliche, or I feel like it's like trite. There's no like proper
Nope.
words. But like I cannot tell you how much more I gain out of it that I am able to give. I try to give everything that I can. But like what an unbelievable inspiration every
Yep.
last one of these kids is. I mean, you mentioned it, JP, like some of these kids don't remember. Like some of these kids, one of my very best friends in the world, his name is Anthony. I just got lunch with him when I was in St. Pete a couple weeks ago with the Marlins. And he grew up going to camp, and he had cancer actually right around the same age as your son. And he's now 34 and he spent the last 30 years of his life going to camp every single summer. And he acknowledges like he doesn't really remember going through cancer treatment.
Yep.
And
Wow.
yet on the flip side, there are other counselors of ours who didn't start as campers until they were 15 or 16 years old because they were diagnosed in high school, and they remember it all very vividly. And so the dichotomy of those things, the range of emotions that exist, the kids of all different ages who have been through all sorts of different things. And what's really wonderful about camp is they show up, and the only thing that almost never gets talked about is cancer.
Yep.
Like it is just fully, thank you for showing this up on the screen.
And everybody can click on the QR code. If you take a picture with your phone, it'll take you right to the website. So please.
This is like, you guys are going to make me cry.
No, being a cancer survivor
This is-
myself,
Mm.
I mean, this just hits home, man. This is
Ugh.
incredible, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place, man. And so I love these people like my own family. We always talk about the Camp Fiesta family. And yeah, I can't tell you guys how lucky I am to be a part of it. Because I learned so much about what being a human being is from being around all of these people who are just so grateful to be here. And like, I think there's such a wonderful like perspective to be taken. You know, we take these kids up to like Universal and Islands of Adventure every year. So we're based there's like cabins in Birch State Park in Fort Lauderdale. And so that's like where our home base is. And we do stuff all around South Florida, but then we also go up to Orlando and take everybody there. And again, it's like all expenses paid for everyone. You can see us there at Disney. And it's always so special because sometimes, you know, kids have been there before and whatever, but
being
every
able
once
to
in a
share it with,
while,
like the kid friends and
yeah,
like without their parents, and
yeah,
you know, being able to do summer camp, you know, even though you're sick,
yeah,
I think that just gets them away from like the everyday treatment, the everyday of knowing
absolutely,
you're sick, right?
absolutely. And you know, most of where we're very lucky is most of the kids who are coming to camp are, you know, either in between treatments or maybe are even done with treatment. You know, maybe even are in remission. And so, you know, a lot of the time you can't necessarily tell. Like we just look like a bunch of punk kids walking around, you know, being obnoxious. But also at the same time, you know, there are, you know, some kids who need it more than others. And we bring our wheelchairs through the park, and we kind of take turns going through, you know, each cabin will have 2 or 3 wheelchairs with us. And kids will kind of alternate and taking turns because, if you've just gone through chemo, being out in the hot sun isn't exactly something that's, super beneficial or something you can handle. And I will say I've become very spoiled when it comes to the parks because we skip all the lines. And so like, I don't like going to these amusement parks without getting this. I feel
Welcome
like a
to my
VIP.
world, Jeremy.
Yeah, dude, it's great. I will say I take advantage of the perks. No, we all joke about it, and it's always fun too because basically, again, everyone else has been through cancer and stuff like that, and so we all there is a funny dynamic that does exist, which is that the rest of the counselors will rag on me and my brother of like, you don't get to make any choices. We're playing the cancer card, and it's like, guys, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, what am I supposed to do? No,
God.
it's the best. It's the best place in the world. We call it the greatest camp in the history of the world for a reason. And
It looks awesome.
yeah, and someday soon, JP, when your kid's old enough, he should come to camp. And we just couldn't be happier to have him.
Yeah, we would definitely consider it. We'll take a flight down. I know that we're itching to get down for a Panthers game next year, so that's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will. I'm obviously gonna keep you in mind when he gets to that age,
man. Please do. No, I mean it's like 7 or 8 years old, so let us know.
Yep. Nope. We're gonna get through kindergarten first, and we'll figure out the rest. But
That's right.
he's in.
They grow up fast, though. They grow up fast.
Good news is he's in remission. And I will say, like a couple months ago, we had an appointment at the hospital, and he saw a kid ring the bell, and he's like, I want to ring the bell, and I'm like, January, dude, like you have no idea what January is, but it's coming. And he's like, awesome. You're gonna ring the bell when you're done coming to the doctor. He's just like, no more doctor. I'm like, yep. Because he has no idea what's going on.
That's what I'm saying. He thinks it's his life, and I can only imagine what that's been like for you guys as a family. It
was a curveball.
Yeah, of course it is. It's beyond that, and it's something that no kid and no family should ever have to go through. Period. And so that is part of why this camp exists, which is like to try to give everyone a sense of levity, to give the kids a sense of normalcy, a sense of levity with one another, this really cool experience that is the least that could be done for a child who's had to go through that. And then for the family that's been through hell and back, and to get to see the smile that exists on their kids' faces. And also, by the way, to kind of have just like a week to like be human beings, maybe without their kid around. There's some real beauty to all of it. And again, like I said, like I just could not be more grateful to have been born into this. Like, yes, I choose to do it every year, but it is so not a choice. It is so something that there is no world where I would do anything other than getting to be a part of this every summer. And so I'm just lucky to be around it.
Yeah. So, I wanted to, sorry. No, I wanted to just say like, that was like the first sticking point where like, as a listener, I connected to you was because you were doing that thing for kids. Like it was a random, couple weeks in the summer. All of a sudden Jeremy's gone, you notice it. And then he comes back and he tells you he's at, Camp Fiesta. And then you start talking about Camp Fiesta. And then the next year you talk about Camp Fiesta again. And the next year, I'm with a kid who, in a few years could go to Camp Fiesta. And it's like, that was like my entry point to kind of like connecting with you. And that's why I kind of had the,
that's why I love sports. It just brings us all together, right? It's just like for me, like dealing with cancer the last couple of years, just being a Panther fan, they brought me so much closer to like forgetting about all the hardship that I was dealing with, all the pain and suffering. Winning the Stanley Cup the last 2 years has been incredible. And I'm sure for your son too, JB, watching that Reinhardt goal for the first Stanley Cup is his favorite moment.
There's a video of
nothing
him.
like sports. Like dealing with these horrible diseases and stuff, and then to have you and Jeremy connect is really incredible.
Yeah, it was the reason why I was brave enough to even try and reach out to you, is because
Come
I was
on.
like that was so cool.
Well,
'cause,
I'm
like,
so
it was empathy at first, and then
right.
then it became personal for me, and I
Yeah.
was like, wow, that's a dude who's actually putting in the work, and we
Hmm.
lost C's. So
Well, look, I will say as we
Yeah.
continue this, like there is such a I'm so grateful for that connection. I'm so grateful that you reached out to make that connection happen. Because to me, like the human connection is all of it, right? And like
Yep.
bringing it back to sports, like you said, sees like it's what sports is all about. Like, and I think in a modern day where human connection is so few and far between, and there's so much like dismissal of what it is to be human,
Yep.
to be able to share in vulnerability, to be able to share in real emotion, like we all feel, as crazy as this is going to sound, like the highs of what an incredible sports moment can bring you can
It's
match the
unbelievable.
lows of what both of you have talked about and gone through. And it sounds insane, but the passion and the identity that we have within our sports teams, within what a singular game can do, what being around 30,000 other people in person at an event can bring, um, it's something kind of the closest thing is I think what a lot of people gain from, their religious experiences.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And I know like there's a stat out there, and I wish I could cite it. I wish I could give you the specific
Stat
poll.
of the
But
day.
there was a poll that literally said that there at this point there are more Americans who identify first with their sports team and then their religion. And it's just like, which is, it's a reality. It's so much of it's tied into the fabric of who we are. It's our local identity. It's our passions. And to be able to have that be a thing that can bring people like the three of us together to have this conversation. Like you
Yeah.
guys have touched me in this moment, like in a way I can't even describe. And it's like to be able to like share in that. Why? Because like I grew up playing baseball, and so I decided I want to talk about sports for a living, and now we all get to have a conversation together. Like it's crazy,
It
And
is.
so
It's amazing.
it's a
And
special thing.
We have no business talking to each other, and
No,
here
but
we
look
are.
at that. Here we
And
are.
here we are,
Why?
yeah.
Because we all have Heat and Panthers shit behind us in our, background.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
you have 3 Emmys.
I do have 3 Emmys. I'm not gonna run away from that.
they look pretty nice back there, by the way.
Hey, of course I keep them at the front of my Zoom background. What would you expect
have
me to
to.
do?
You have
Where
to.
else am I supposed to put them? I'm not
And
gonna
shouts
put
out
the
to-
mantle in my living room. I mean, come
Move
on.
him to a bookshelf in view.
Yeah, that's
along
right.
with
But we
books you
do
like.
need some Panther gear back there.
I
And some
have
Miami Heat gear.
hold on.
Like, I mean,
No, hold
but we
on.
do like the music stuff back there. I think
Yeah,
JC appreciates that.
I go music first on that because I'm like, well, the
The
sports would
Beatles.
be too obvious. Hold on. Where
My
did I
son's
have
just getting into the Beatles right now. He's been singing "Hello Goodbye" nonstop
That's awesome.
for the last week.
That's
It's
awesome.
the Colbert finale.
Yeah, that was like so touching, dude. Talk about
Ooh.
like chills and
And
goosebumps
jump up,
and tears.
jump up,
Woo!
and "Hello Goodbye." Oh
Woo!
my God,
Ridiculous.
That's crazy.
perfect messages.
So, did you watch the Michael Jackson movie?
I haven't yet, and
Do
I
you,
need
like,
to.
You have to. If you like
I've
music,
heard good things. I love music.
don't look at the critics because
Well,
like,
he's a
Rotten
member of the
Tomatoes are
Wu-Tang
horrible.
Clan.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
likes
come on.
music.
Of course, I love music. Come on, what are we doing?
But-
No, I know I need to. I know I need to see it.
It
It
was
seems
definitely-
remarkably entertaining.
it was one of my favorites. It's
Yeah.
definitely a must go see.
Yeah.
Jeremy, can I transition awkwardly into some questions that I have about the Levitard show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'm not going to ask anything that's going to peel back the curtain too much because I like being on this side. So
Yeah, me too.
so you were a listener first, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. So like it's almost like the video team uses you as like the audience reaction, because like you feel the tension when like somebody starts telling Zaz he's a cuck too much or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So, like,
Yeah.
So like, is there a moment where like you felt like you had gold and then you go out into the eating area and we're just like, and everyone was like, that was awesome?
Yeah. Ooh, that's such a good one. Okay, so on the first part, yes, I like try my best to be the audience reaction in a way. Like
This morning specifically, I have to say, when Zaz said something that like
yeah, and I was just like
very
this.
deliberate.
I don't even remember.
And you were like, he was like,
yeah, I don't even remember
"That
what it
is."
was. Whew. Yeah, I
Hear your
think
laughter.
I think, oh God, what was it with Greg? There was a moment with Greg recently. I can't remember.
He's been on heaters.
He's been on a couple of heaters.
Catchphrases have lifted into the sky.
That's absolutely right. And it's like every time Greg is on the show, I just experience so much joy. Like he's my favorite part of the show. He kind of always has been. And
Unhinged.
I just love him. I love him. He's so funny when he knows it and when he doesn't know it. And
you know it.
And you know it. That kind of thing. And so he like, there have just been some moments with him where I find myself just laughing in a way that like I have almost an out of body experience of like, I can't believe this is work.
Yeah.
Like where I'm laughing. So, and like, look, we get to laugh every day. There are moments of the show where you laugh every day, but it's still work. Like you're showing up to work.
I'm watching live and I'm laughing.
Yeah.
I'm
like
one of many who are doing that.
Of course, because it's funny. Like I've been a listener. I was a listener for years and years and years before getting to be a part of it, and I feel so lucky to. But like I said, it's like it's work. So it's like there are going to be moments, there are things that are difficult, just like any other workplace. We all have personalities, we all have things we need to bring to the table. And just like anywhere, like any day you wake up, you could just like not be in the mood, right? And I'm like, oh, I gotta go travel all the way down to Miami, I gotta take the train and blah 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 blah. It's a work day. And so
is that your mean?
Yeah, that's my limited fake amine. But there are moments where you feel like that, and then you show up and you start laughing, and you're like, man, I can't believe this is work. And it never happens more than when Greg is in the building. And so that's most of those moments for me. And I just feel like one of the best feelings in the world when we're going is when not just we've got like two things going at once, but when we've got like three things going at once. And what I mean by that is like you got one like sports conversation happening between like, say it's just like Dan and Zaz, right?
Yep.
And then myself and like Amin is in the building, right? And so now myself and Amin have like they're
naming 90s basketball players.
Exactly. We're naming 90s basketball players or basketball players who connote Stanley Cup, right? And so now it's like, Stanley Johnson and like whatever, and we're naming guys. And then there's also a bit happening at the same time between Mike and Chris. And it's like when we can find a way in an hour where now it's just like for a good 15, 20-minute window, we've got all of those things interacting with each other. That feeling is like, it's euphoric. Like it's because you can feel it. It is like Dan always describes it like a symphony. And it's like, it really is like that. And it sounds so fucking stupid, right? Because it's like, what? Because we're making cuck jokes and we're also having a conversation about player efficiency in the post. But it's like, yeah, we are. And it's awesome. And the ability to do it all at once, it like reminds me like in some ways, right? Like a great like Seinfeld episode, right? Has like an A plot, a B plot, and a C plot.
Yep. And
you're spending the most time on the A plot. You're spending the next most time on that B plot and like a little bit of time on the C plot, but that C plot's going to get you a bunch of laughs. And to me, like the best hour of our show, and really, if we can go a full day where we can do that throughout, awesome. But if we can even once a week get to 1 hour that feels like that while doing live improv for 4 hours a day,
I love it.
like, holy shit, man, what a feeling. And so my goal always is to try to help us get there. Sometimes we get a little too caught up in like this big sports thing because we're all feeling passionate about it. And so, of course, we're going to go there, and I have feelings about all of it. And, I want to get my thought in there and whatever. But like, what I've been really trying to do the last like 6 months or so is like, when I feel myself getting like that, try to take a step back, because that's actually when I know, like, okay, 4 people are like locked in on this. So that means I can try to help either Zaz or Chris or somebody get locked in on some sort of recurring joke throughout the rest of it. And it doesn't always work. There are times where I'm needed to come to air and talk about XYZ, or I just want to. Like, sometimes I just want to. But when we can find that rhythm, like, God, what a feeling.
Yeah. There's so many times where I feel like I'm looking at what could be a straight-laced joke leading into something about, the NBA finals. And then somebody just says Scott Brocious, and you're like,
yes,
that was great.
Oh, awesome.
But
yeah,
like, one of the funniest things was the breathing hot neck.
Oh my God. So bad.
That was like, I know what you were getting at as soon as you said it.
Yep.
It was just like, it's totally different from, do you think you're family?
Yeah. Yeah.
I also knew you're going for that, but it was
for those who don't know, I was trying to get on Dan for he was talking about Mike Ryan going to spring football.
Yep.
And he was saying like, you're breathing hot air on the neck of teenagers. And then I was trying to make fun of him for saying that about Mike. And I said, you're breathing hot neck on teenagers. And it obviously not what I intended to say. And I think what made it so funny is like, I'm because of the other jobs, I was
going to ask you.
You're starch professional.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the question?
Does this affect with your like professional jobs?
Does it affect my professional job? Yeah, sometimes.
Like, you don't have like do you have like an usher that comes by and it's just like, you're breathing hot neck?
Dude, I can't tell you the amount of times that people like listen to the show everywhere, right? So it's like, I'll be walking through doing the like, the in-game hosting stuff at Marlins, and I'll have some random fan walk up and make a joke about like whatever happened on the show either earlier that day or earlier that week. And like my field managers and the people who are around me are like, what are they talking about? It's like, I don't even know I don't know where to begin to explain. So no, I haven't had the breathing hot neck one happen, but I will say like, there's like a lot of great and also like some funny that comes with being a part of this show, and then also kind of do a professional job. So it's like when Kyle Stowers came on the other day, I was profusely sweating because I was like, how are we going to make this awkward for me? Like I'm going to have to go back into the locker room.
You were waiting.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to have to go back into the clubhouse and like talk to this person who I like and have spent a couple of years growing a good relationship with. And I'm sure Dan is going to like wipe the floor with it within 10 minutes. And so I like crack up. Like I've told this story before. I don't know if I told it on the air anywhere or not, but one of the funniest things in the world to me was a couple years back, we went to Tahoe. It was myself, it was Stu Gatz, it was Mike, and a couple behind the scenes people. And one of the people who was at this American Century Golf tournament was Kyle Lowry. And so we were trying to get people to do the show. And I was like,
Mike was trashing him.
Oh, when was he not? And so I was walking through, and Kyle sees me and like makes eye contact and makes like a face like, what? And he actually walks up to me. And we didn't have like a great relationship, but we didn't have a bad one. Better than I think he had with a lot of the media around the Heat, which he didn't have a ton of great relationships around the Heat. And I mean, in terms of the media. And so he walks up and he like daps me up. And he's like, dude, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm here because he's like, why are you here? There's not really a lot of media here. I don't understand the context. You're not a celebrity. And so I was like, oh, I'm doing some stuff with Le Batard show. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, any shot that you'd be willing to like come do a segment? And he was like, is it just you? And I was like, no, it's me and Mike and Stu Gatz. And then he was like, fuck no. And I was like, I'm sorry, I know the language, whatever.
No, it's fine.
And I started cracking up and I was like, dude, I totally get it. He's like, yeah, no, if it was you, like I'm game, but otherwise, no way. And so like those types of dynamics do exist sometimes because the guys don't have to deal with actually walking into a clubhouse or a locker room and dealing with these human beings on a day-to-day basis.
Dan specifically.
But
everything gets tied to him. Everything gets
tied to him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I do have to go in and have these conversations and I do have to deal with these people and I deal with them mostly on a positive dynamic, right? Like I've got to be the one getting a post-game interview after a win. So it's like
but you guys are just like Stu or Dan Le Batard's puppets
in some ways, but in a great way.
But they're autonomous. But like
totally,
Dan is the guy who catches all the hell.
Yes,
but everybody else feels the effects of that hell on the backside.
Yes.
That's
like, right. And so for me,
if you had a chance to have Rob Manfred on the pitch clock, as soon as he figured out that it was involving Dan Le Batard, he would say, nope. No,
I've thought about it even from like a perspective of like if I had to interview him because he was stopping by the ballpark for the Marlins.
Exactly.
Like, and if he did any sort of due diligence to learn who I was,
like
it would be like, well, wait, what's this guy's tie to Dan?
You would not get any video. You would get fan cam video from the video board, and that's it.
Yeah. And so look, I think that I joke ultimately like it's a majorly positive thing for me. Dan's reputation is a great one for a reason. He's a legend in this market and he's great at what he does. And I love working with him. And it's only been a good thing for my career. Like I make these jokes, but ultimately like the amount of cachet and respect I get within our media market. Yeah, that's right. The amount of cachet that I get within this market as a result of working with Dan is gigantic. Like it's a huge step up for me, and getting to balance that with these other roles that I also really love. Like I've been saying that. I've been talking to my wife the other day and I'm like, if I could just do exactly what I'm doing for the next 15 years, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. Like I wouldn't change a thing.
There is nothing that comes off from you when I see you on my screen other than happy.
Thanks, man.
There is, I'm concerned about the times where they pile on a little bit, but I think that's a lot of character work, and I hope you can brush it off better than I do for you.
Yeah, I do. I look,
okay.
These guys, like we all have a good relationship, and being the punching bag, as it were, like very, 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 very rarely does it actually like
doesn't cut to the bone exactly.
Yeah, I know that it's all part of the role.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And and sometimes they're like real things where I'm like, yo, what are we doing? But you know, I think that's because I also really, I think of everyone, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I think of everyone within the show, I'm probably the closest to just kind of not really being in character. Like I'm kind of just me.
I was going to say, like, you are relatable in a way that like you could admit that you're going to therapy without having some macho backup.
Thanks, man.
Character backup. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm going to therapy because, you know,
because it's good for everybody.
Yeah. And because
I F blah blah blah.
Guy my guy at the gym told me it was a good idea.
Exactly. Like that's never been for me, man. Like I just I don't know.
Musicians are of the same ilk.
That's right. And it would just I just think I don't know. So much of what we do is bit, and it should be because it's a comedy show. Like
Right.
ultimately, like we're a comedy sports show is really how I look at it.
Mhm.
We use sports as a vehicle for laughs. And so at least, and maybe that's the right way to look at it, maybe it's not. But for me, I view it as because of that, like I know we have to do some stuff that's in character and that's bit, and like ultimately, like there are some things that I say that are so not like what I, Jeremy,
You
would
think your
say,
family?
would say or think or lean into. There are some jokes that we make where I'm like, not really my sense of humor, but we got to go with it, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think like in modern times, like I don't want to watch anybody who's inauthentic. And
Yeah.
so it can be bit, but like I'm not going to stray from me because like I don't have interest in watching other people stray from who they are. I want to see people who are authentic. I want to see people who are willing to offer who they are to me, whether it's in sports, whether it's outside of it. And if I can in that authenticity offer anything that someone else can relate to, whether it's through a laugh, whether it's through a really good feeling, a high, whether it's through a low, whether it's talking about mental health and depression or loss and grief. Like uh, to me, it's like, what are we if not people who get to just like live in other people's heads as their friends every day? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly why I
You
have the
know?
courage to even reach out to you
yeah,
to do this.
but you should
it's-
like.
it's good.
Courage is a crazy word on that, man. Reach out. We're all like, I think it's BS when I mean, whatever. That this is a deeper conversation, but I think it's total bullshit when anybody acts like we shouldn't be accessible.
Right.
Why? Because you have a friggin' podcast.
Which I
Like,
was going to ask
reach
you,
out.
where
You
do
know?
you like seeing all these content creators now doing their own sports platform like me, and
Mhm.
not being in the so-called media world? How do you see it evolving for the good?
I think it's great. Like, I think it's awesome that so many different people can share their thoughts and their opinions and their voices. And I think ultimately, like, I don't feel any sort of threat within it because I think cream rises to the top, or whatever that's the phrase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We're creaming, buddy.
yeah, I think so. And we're creaming it. But I think ultimately, like the best of the best will rise. And if I think I'm good at this, I have no reason to feel any sort of threat about more and more people entering the space. I think it's awesome that
Yep.
everyone is doing it. And I want to do as many of these as I can because I want to be around as many good people that have interest in having good conversations like the one we've had for the last hour plus. Like it to me, it's like, why not? Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want, and why wouldn't that drive you to be even better at what you do? And so to me, I think like it's a really cool thing that we've been able to sort of democratize where voices are. I think it's cool that players are getting a chance, and
Yeah.
I want everyone to be good at it. I don't want it to be bullshit. I don't want people spewing garbage or hate or rhetoric that doesn't make any sense or unfact checked nonsense. But at the same time, I do think that there's like a really, really, really awesome thing in the fact that, like, again, we can sit here and have this conversation because you have the ability to get on a StreamYard and create your own show from nothing. And that's how I started, by the way. Like, I didn't
You
have
had your own
anything.
show, right?
Yeah, I had nothing. And then I got lucky enough to be working with Craig Mish on a Marlins podcast, editing audio and by the way, I had no business doing because I taught myself how to edit audio like the 2 weeks before we started because I was asked, "Do you want to do this?" And I said, "Yep, I can do it."
You got that? You
And
know about that Audacity?
yeah, I'm sure I can learn. And then from there, like I got to build out my own thing with Bally and have my own show there for 150 episodes or whatever it was.
That's
And like
amazing.
it was really
Talking-
special, man. Like
Talking with Tache.
yeah, that's it now, man. Go watch
Yep.
it. If you guys live here
Yeah.
in Florida, if you have any interest, I have a new podcast with the Marlins on marlins.tv. It's It's called Talking with Tache. First interview
Before that,
with
you
Liam Hicks.
Miami mic'd up, right?
That's right. It was Miami mic'd up. And God, looking back, some of those episodes are really fun, even if you go back and listen to them now. So yeah, it's crazy, man. There's like 180 of those. And it's like I spent 4 years of my life just doing an interview every week.
Which one was your favorite episode?
God, that's
Or your
such
favorite
a
interview?
tough question.
Or was there like
man.
your like
Okay, there's a few. I'm just gonna
all-time
start
moment,
rattling.
like, oh man.
Well, the
Top three.
all-time,
Top
man.
three. Top
Yeah.
three.
All right. So I really loved getting to interview Dontrell Willis, and we talked for like an hour, and that was super cool because
What a
like,
legend.
yeah, because I just like grew up such a big Marlins fan. That was super cool. I will say, like, interviewing Jimmy Butler the first time was pretty freaking cool. Like, it was
That
really awesome.
had to have been awesome.
It was really
because,
cool.
geez,
Yeah, it was really cool.
The
And
hope
yeah,
was there.
it was like his second year with the team. It was really cool. And then I will say my first interview with Tyler Hero, because it went pretty viral. So that was where I had asked him about like how he views himself within the state of the league. And he said he viewed himself within the same conversation as some of the other really good young players like Luka and Trey and Ja. And it honestly felt pretty reasonable. Like I appreciated where he was at. He just won a 6-man, like, you know, whatever. And it just, I mean, literally 2 nights later, Shaq's talking about it on Inside the NBA. And I'm like, what in the world have I done? It was horrifying, but it was also a big time, like, welcome to the show moment. Cause that was like my 10th episode. It was crazy. And so that was a really cool feeling too. And there's a million others, man. Like there were some journalists I got to talk to, that I like couldn't believe I got to like have on the show. You know, honestly getting to talk to some of the Levitard guys in a deeper form. And Jessica got it. I love
Jessica Blaylock.
Yeah,
amazing.
Well, no, there's both, man. There's just
which one?
both.
Montana.
No, both of them though. Like
Okay.
that's the thing is no. It's so funny you say that, right? Because I'm so grateful because it's like I got to talk with Jessica Blaylock and I got to talk with Kelly Sacco and I got to talk with Jessica Smetana and Lucy Rodin and all of these incredible women in sports. That like
it's amazing what they do, right?
Amazing. And like this could be another hour-long episode, but like being able to be such a consummate professionals who are like the hurdles that you have to kind of overcome to be respected within this business, respected within clubhouses, respected within locker rooms, respected on shows like ours. Like it's hard as hell. And I love every last one of those people. And Kelly in particular, like, let me just shout out Kelly. Kelly's willingness and ability as a friend to bring me in and walk me through every single step of what it would take to be a Marlins sideline reporter when I was afforded that opportunity. Not everyone gets that from the people who are in the position in front of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to have her reach out in the way that she did, she literally was like, let's go to lunch. And she spent 4 hours with me, walking me through every single aspect of it, still checks in, still wants to know how I'm doing, still offers to help. And I could not be more grateful for that human being. Like she is one of one. Like she is as great as it gets. And that is excluding the ridiculous talent that she is on television. So I don't have enough amazing things to say about Kelly. Like she's the best.
Awesome.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, I mean, man, Jeremy, you are so incredible, man.
No, this was fun, guys. I genuinely enjoyed spending my time with you. I appreciate you guys inviting me here.
So many jobs, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I do have
carving
jobs.
out some time for it.
I appreciate you guys, and thank you both for being vulnerable and sharing what you guys have gone through. I can't thank you enough for giving me a platform to share a little bit about camp. And to just kind of chat. Like this is a lot of fun. Both of you obviously feel free to reach out whenever, but if any of you who are listening are, you know, I don't know, going through anything or just want to smile or just want to say hello over anything, just like be nice and send a DM and say what's up. And if I don't get back to you immediately, I promise I will.
I can also promise you will because I
will.
sent a message and he responded.
I will, I promise. But I can't thank you guys enough for your kindness. And I hope that anyone listening continues to spread a little bit of that throughout their life for the next, foreseeable
Before
future.
we let you go, what is the best way for our viewers or listeners to support Camp Fiesta?
Campfiesta.com/donate. Campfiesta.com/donate. I believe that is where you find it. And if that doesn't work for you immediately, just go to campfiesta.com, find that donate button, and you can donate through there. But you guys rock. And I will hopefully chat with both of you sometime soon.
Awesome.
Jeremy, I thank you so much for doing this. I hope to have you on towards the end of the baseball season.
Please.
And when I come down for Panthers opening night, I will be staying in Fort Lauderdale, and I
will
hope
see
I
you.
can buy you a beer. Hope I can buy
100%,
you a
brother.
beer.
Please, seriously,
We
reach
gotta
out.
definitely catch up, Jeremy.
All of us.
Down here. We gotta
100%, man. I would love it. I would
Sure.
love it. And Cease,
Cool.
let me know if you end up getting out to a Marlins game sometime soon. I'll come say what's up.
Yeah. I plan to go when the Cubs come to town again.
I will be
Oh.
doing TV that game, so I'll come say what's up.
Awesome.
That's
and
the
I'll
dude
also
right
be there
there.
in September. I think the
That
Braves
is
play
September.
you guys the last game of the season. So
And I'll be doing in-game for that. So one way or another, I will see you in September. But gentlemen,
Awesome.
you guys rock. Thank you
Jeremy.
for
Jeremy, thank you
all
again.
of this. No, thank you. I'll talk to you guys soon, all right?
sounds good,
Hey,
Jeremy.
buddy.
See
Take
you
care.
later.
Oh man, that was incredible, bro.
Dude, that's
I'm
a
sure that
real
was
dude.
like your Mount Rushmore.
That he's one of them for sure. I've been wanting to talk to him in person for a very long time, and I feel like that was something really cool. And that comment from my wife at the end there, that was really cool. She's been watching.
Awesome.
She said, "Thank you for doing what you do for all these kiddos and the families." That's my wife.
That's amazing. Oh man, and our prayers and support are with you, JP, and your son. We're glad he's doing better. We're glad that he's beating this horrible disease.
We are
it's,
7 months away, it looks like, from ringing the bell.
Oh man, that's incredible. Man, it's the Camp Fiesta is such an incredible thing.
It's such a great concept.
I
like-
can't wait to look more into it because I definitely want to be involved now. Being here, for Lauderdale,
I told him about what was going on with my son. Like after we had a few conversations, and he was like, "Oh, my family runs Camp Fiesta," and I have to be like, I don't want to say I already know that you do that, but it's very nice for you to offer, but I think he's too young. We live in Massachusetts, but it's obviously a thing that would be awesome for him. And it's like, for him to think of the first thing, like, how can I help? Like, that's a genuinely good dude. And Jeremy obviously is one of my favorites from the Le Batard show. So it's a pretty cool feeling that he came on with us. Your mic is muted. So I will say, hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Hello,
I
my
always do
right
that.
time girl.
No, he was so incredible, man. Just getting to know him a little bit. We could have sat here and talked for hours and hours.
I know. I wanted to send him to bed. He's got 9 jobs.
David Dwork, who I know personally really well too. Those guys work together, so
I would love to talk to Dworky. That would be cool.
He's gonna come on here shortly within the next 2 weeks. I have him and his buddy. Oh my gosh!
Don't say Roy Bellamy.
Yeah, it is Roy Bellamy.
Are you serious?
Yep, they're both gonna come on here. They're amazing. I love those guys. So yeah, we're gonna have them on the show here. Can't wait to talk. Yeah, bro. That's gonna be fun.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be fun. We got to try to work in Dan Le Batard. That's gonna be our goal.
We are
We're creeping in.
I can imagine that we are, the old yodeling game on Price is Right. We are at the very bottom of the mountain. We are trying. We
It's
got
okay.
we got Jeremy. We're gonna get Roy,
Roy,
David
David.
and Roy together as the hockey show on Metal Luck Media.
Oh, that is so hilarious.
Yeah, man, that's so cool.
Yeah. And maybe we'll do it sometime. Depending on what next week looks like, maybe either next week or the week after.
I'm certain they're busy during the Stanley Cup final. I am certain that they are also just as apathetic as I am.
Right.
Considering I don't want the Canes to win. They took the Whalers from me. I don't want the Golden Knights to win because of the goalie. We'll leave it at that.
I was gonna say, let's kind of like talk a little bit about before we close it out here. Thank you everybody who tuned in, and those of you that are listening, thank you guys. We are only 3 away from reaching the 1,000 subscriptions.
Please like and subscribe.
Make sure a lot of you guys that are listening are not subscribed, so please do so. Subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more guests coming on. Our show just keeps growing. You know, couldn't have done it without you guys. We do it for you guys, and it's fun. Try to, sit here for 2 hours and talk about sports nonsense, and whether you agree or not agree with our opinion, that's the whole point of it, right?
And whether or not a fucking ketchup deserves to be on a sandwich.
Hey, I'm winning right now. Go look at the comments. All right? Everybody,
I don't think so, man. I don't think so, man.
Go look at the comments.
No, ketchup belongs on a hot dog if there are multiple other condiments on the
There's
hot
several
dog.
people that say I like ketchup only on my hot dog.
They are children.
Well, then I guess we're children. But anyway,
I am hard and fast on this one. You are a child. And I know my wife is one of those people. She loves only ketchup on hot dogs, and I will say this to her face.
Wow. It's okay. It's okay. Then we could agree to disagree, right?
Sure. You wanted to talk Stanley Cup?
Yes, Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, she's on my side now. She's on my side.
She's still listening.
I love it. I love it. Stanley Cup Finals. Vegas versus Carolina. There's a lot of misconception about Carolina and goalie Anderson not being the guy the guys on the Cats and Rats podcast, Cody in particular, says that Anderson's a fraud. He doesn't think that he's the goalie that could win it. Also says that Sebastian also has to have an all-star performance for them to win, but yet Aho hasn't really done anything and they're in the finals. So, I mean, Jack Eichel has been incredible. Hart has been incredible. I know you hate to see that, but who do you find the edge? Putting your differences aside, who do you see has the edge in this series?
So let's just say that I have differences on both sides. I don't care about the VGK or whatever name they're trying to pass on this Golden Knights team. The VGK. It's like they're the mafia. Frankly, I don't like Vegas. I don't like that they were the team that in this modern era were the team that beat, Matthew Tkachuk with his, broken groin or whatever it was. That being said, the Canes need to look in the mirror and they need to be very serious with themselves because there was no hard path to the final this year. There was no Florida Panther.
Yeah. Oh, we can all agree to that. I feel like Carolina had the easiest path to the Stanley Cup.
If I could have MS Paint, he left. All right. So if I could have MS Paint, we're gonna have the Carolina Hurricanes over here celebrating the Stanley Cup. They're so happy. Yep. We're gonna have backstage. We're gonna have
people.
All of the people. I'm onto something here. I'm onto something here. You were gone. We have the Carolina Hurricanes, celebrating the cup. We have all of the people from the VGK who are over here just looking, like they do. And then over here, Florida Panthers on top of their head. They have no idea what's coming for them next year.
Yeah.
But enjoy your cup, because this hand is going over here. And we're healthy. They're not. And, even if the Hurricanes sweep Golden Knights, it's not going to be a sweep by Brendan Moore's terms.
So you're picking Vegas?
No. My pick for the Stanley Cup final is the New York Knicks.
Are we talking the same sport here?
I don't care about the Stanley Cup final this year because this is the worst case scenario.
If you had to pick.
This is the worst. Okay, gun to my head. Vegas versus Carolina.
There has to be a winner.
Gun to my head. I would like the Golden Knights to sweep Carolina because I want another "we didn't get swept" press conference from Brendan Moore.
Okay.
That's my
And
choice.
Vegas is in the West, so they have really absolutely nothing to do with the Panthers, although we did lose to them.
But they
final.
do because they beat us that first year on Matthew Tkachuk's broken trunk.
He broken trunk. Oh my gosh. But he was injured, so I mean,
And we all knew it.
That was an
We all knew it.
anomaly. Barkov was, still trying to find his groove, and
Barkov was skating at a 90-degree angle.
yeah, it was
like he wasn't just finding his groove. He was obviously hurt.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of guys that were injured, but mostly I think that was the year that Matthew Tkachuk literally carried the team on his back, and being able to
swept the Canes.
Just watching him get hurt and then not being able to finish off the series, I think that's what hurt most. And but we ended up getting redemption. We won the next 2 years, and
I'm familiar.
And no, but let's give Carolina credit too. Like they've literally won 14 of the last 15 games, 16 games. So they deserve credit where it's due, and they've only lost one game in the whole Stanley Cup final. So
it's
gonna be a hard team to beat. It's gonna be a hard team to beat.
We were missing that team. Just telling you.
No, of course. And although Vegas doesn't play the exact way Florida does, they have that tenacity with their new coach there.
Yeah, and the Hurricanes are trying to copy what the Panthers did. Let's be clear on that. They're being very aggressive on the forecheck.
They are,
and that's what killed them the last 2 years.
But they've also haven't faced anybody with the forechecking that the Florida does. So.
If only there was a team.
For those of you that are listening, he's pointing to the Panther flag.
The banner.
Championship banners. But yeah, it's. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna watch the series, but I don't have a favorite. I did pick Vegas in 7, but I would not be surprised if Carolina won.
Yeah. So, as a person who grew up in Connecticut when the Whalers left, I can't ever go for the Hurricanes. I wish I wasn't going to go for the Golden Knights, so I think I'm just going to pay attention to the NBA Finals instead. Go Knicks.
And it's going to be fun for both of these series, I think. More so in the NBA, I'm kind of curious now to watch them, the Knicks and the Spurs. 2 new teams, young bloods. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun series for sure. But yeah, JP. What?
Hey,
I almost did it, but I didn't.
You're calling me by my ex's name.
No, JP.
Yeah, too many people named Jeremy on this podcast.
I know. But thanks a lot to Jeremy Tache. He was awesome. Thank you. Appreciate all the love and support. We're gonna
Jeremy's
have
the
all
man.
the links
Amfiesta.com.
it'll be in the description below. So make sure you check those out. Follow him on all your social media platforms. Until next week, guys, thank you again from the BigCeaz Show. I am your host, BigCeaz, and here's JP. It was fun talking to you guys. Like I always say, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time.
We
Let's
love you.
go.
BigCeaz, tell him shout it till the ground shake.